It's the story about a grub, a grubby little guy who doesn't know it yet, but he's in for a big change.
Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. He'd eat his leaves all day and have grubby things to say. When he was asked to comment on what might be one day,
he said, I'll keep doing things my grub way. It's my way from day to day. What may be one day. Till then I'll stick to my grubby way.
Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. Grub went on with the way that took him day to day, thinking things that made him say, what if things worked another way?
He said, I've been doing things my grub way. It's the same old stuff day to day. Perhaps there is another way, so I can change my grubby way.
Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. Grub was happy doing his grub things, eating leaves and doing other grub things. And Grub went on and changed his ways. Woke one day and Grub felt strange. Wrapped himself up and slept for days. Woke up again and he was amazed.
I was happy to do my bit, fit myself into where I fit. Never knew how free I could be, couldn't tell I could be me. I settled in and I did my thing. Never knew I was gonna, never knew I was gonna grow wings, living my life day to day. Now everyone can hear me say, Grub was happy that he tried new things, so very happy he loved his wings. Recapping tonight's top stories. Grub was happy that he tried new things, so very happy he loved his wings. Back to you in the studio.
G'day, you mob. How the devil are we going? What's going on, everyone? Am I too dark for anyone? I was going to set up outside today because it is getting cooler, but then the weather went and threw a very nice, clear, rather warm day at me. So I decided to set up inside instead. Because, yeah, it's cooler in here with, not an aircon, dehumidifier. It's cheaper than air conditioning on the electricity bill. So anyway, yeah, just me at the moment. Scungy might pop through for a little bit, but she's got her youngest, no, not her youngest, her middle boy with her, so she won't be tarrying around for long. Pop in for a hug or two and then run off into the wilds. And yeah, I don't know where the other people are. We'll find out soon, I guess. It'll give me a few minutes to go through the hellos. James Hukulak, you're on a roll, son. You're on a roll. Bucket of kudos out to you, mate. Well done. S, close, very close second. With remorse. Joel G, how are you, mate? Alyssa Bentley, good day. Paddy Shaddy, how do? BJ, good day. 420, right. I didn't even get that. because we do our dates the other way around, and 24 doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? Interesting, but we'll save that kind of behaviour for later in the day. It removes my time if I get stoned early in the day. Then I think you walk around chasing getting further high again. So save it till later in the day if you do that kind of stuff. Even though the wake and bake is a very popular thing with lots of people. Not my cup of tea these days. I'm too old. Too old. MTF and F, how are you, Jess? Good to see you. Long time no see. Huawei, how are you, Grasshopper? Oh yeah. I'd like to say it sounds like fun, Alyssa, but it doesn't sound like fun. Trying to clean out pipes. Eesh. What else we got? That's about all of yous, I think. Pardon me, Rock Hard Tanks. How are you, Rocco? Good to see you. Might be your favourite song. Which one? The Grub song? Oh, which is too short, BJ? The Grub song or the intro one? I should probably make a longer version of it and with clearer video as well. That pixelated video grosses me out every time I see it. GRB, g'day mate, how's it going? Thirsty Rabbit, how are you, bro? Yeah, man, we got a warm day here today too. It's the first time in months that we've had 2 blue sky days on the trot. Months. Rachel Beard, how are you, Rachel? Welcome, first timer. Crikey, throat's giving me griefs. It's like I 420'd, but I didn't. Oh, that's right. It's not 420 down there yet, is it? That's tomorrow for you kids. Yeah, Moon Knight. Oh, that could be a good one to talk about. It's a good show. I like it. Third episode today or 4th episode today? Anyway, whichever. Tia and Aqua, how's it going? I think I've made it to the bottom without too much skipping or missing people. If I missed you and you feel left out, let me know. And I'll make sure that your feelings of inclusion are sated or satisfied, if you like. Robes. I thought that said Rabes. It's one of my my son's nicknames. Anyway, Moon Knight. Who's watching it? It's a good show. Yeah, I said hi to you, Huawei. Never miss you. It's always fun trying to say Huawei. Moon Knight. It's a good show. I was a bit disappointed. It was one of those ones that after the first episode finished, I was like, give me more now. And then I realised that it's once a week releasing like old school televisual entertainment. So yeah, I thought maybe I could, take a few weeks off and then binge a few at a time. But nah, it's pretty good. I like it. And it's what's his name? Oscar, whatever it is. Poe Dameron. Oh, what happened to my light then? Nothing changed. Weird. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Moon Knight. Yeah, it's pretty weird and spun out and pretty decent. And interesting concepts. Some, Oscar Isaac, thanks, yes, that's him. I knew he was one of those 2 first name peoples. Yeah, some of it's like really outlandish and very, very impossible to believe. But with a lot of those shows, you've really got to exercise your what do you call it? Suspension of disbelief. I'm not strictly any of them. I've never really been a comic book fan, Huawei. Yeah, I guess I've just been suckered into them for the mainstream appeal that they garner. You know, you don't watch them, got nothing to talk about because it's what half the planet talks about at certain times. Got this new Thor one coming out that might be a good watch, but yeah, I've heard good things about the Batman. It's on HBO Max already. I wonder what one? What's our equivalent down here? Maybe HBO Max. No, I think lots of the stuff that broadcasts on HBO is available on one of our streaming services. They might be partnered up in some way. But yeah, I would imagine it'd be at a rental stage, wouldn't it? Still pay per view. Like lots of them. As the amount of old, like really, really old movies, the classics and whatnot that you can't stream for free, you've got to rent them or buy them. No, like they've been out for 70 years. It's a bit wild. Anyway, I never heard of Moon Knight until the show. Yeah, well, I heard of it about a few months before because a friend of mine was telling me it's coming. It's Night with a K. Yeah, and then he said it was one of his favorite comic book series, and so I thought I'd give it a watch. Interesting. When you rent it, do you only get to watch it once, or do you get like a time period that you have it for and you can watch it multiple times? I know someone who might know the answer to that.
I don't have an answer for that. I have no answers.
Oh, well. It was an interesting segue to try and bring you up to.
I just have no answers, my friend. I have no answers for you, bro. I haven't watched Moon Knight. You know, I read a bunch of the comic books in the past, but yeah, I don't know. It's never really like entranced me that much, you know. I was never like, oh my god, I gotta know everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have never had any experience with the comics,
But
and the
when
first episode is very trippy.
But typically, when you rent things nowadays, you get like you can start and stop it or replay it as many times as you want within a period of time.
Yeah, like an
I think
overnight video rental.
I think like, you know, like new releases, it's shorter period of time. But I think we rented something a little while ago and it had like 10 days or something that you could, a 10-day period or something that you could watch it within. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty handy.
Yeah.
Unless it's crap and then you know, don't watch all of it or you give up early anyway. But if it's
Yeah,
great,
just
then you
skip it
get to
out.
watch it 5 times.
BJ Palmer and S are here. Look at that. That's good.
It's always good to have those kids around. What's been going on?
Nothing good, man. I'm not having a lot of fun.
Yeah, housing market getting you down, eh?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's the worst of it.
Well, I mean, I don't know who in the audience here has ever bought a house. And like during like a regular time, buying a house is extraordinarily stressful, right? Would just amplify that by like 100. That's how it is now. I mean, it's just, you know, it's ridiculous. So I don't know.
G'day, Vinoxky.
I'm
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to be in the position of having to find one right now.
I'm verging on just giving up. I'm verging on giving up because like I just don't give a shit about any of this stuff that much to continue to be stressed out every day all the time. Like I don't know. I'm sure there are some people out there who be like, yeah, I get that. You know. But we put a lot of work into this. You know, we lost $25,000 last week. That's not nothing. I want that to like mean something, right? But you know, I don't know. I'm at the point like I'm just so tired that I'm just like I just don't even care. I'll just fucking live under a bridge. I don't give a shit. I just want you know, I'm at the point right now where I'm like burn it down. I'll just move to fucking Canada or Ukraine. Whatever, you know? Like I'm just over it. I'm just over this. So yeah,
I would
it's
imagine.
just
I imagine property in the Ukraine might be pretty cheap in a year or two. Maybe
yeah,
it won't be. Maybe it'll have the reverse effect.
I mean, it'll become like super valuable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
G'day, two dogs. Chewy.
Yeah, I mean,
how are we?
you know, you put it this way that you put tons of money down to buy a property. You go through all the banking process. You go through all this stuff. And
Big D.
you know, you get to a point where you finally get an offer down. You know, you're going through. They have 15 offers. You make it into the final 3, and some shithead with way too much money comes in and just buys it cash.
Mm.
You know, so what do you do? Right? And some people would be like, and some people would be like, well, you know, I know that you talk about this stuff politically all the time, but like, how does the average person compete in that market at all, even remotely? Like, at all? Like, how do you even at all try to, like, oh, I don't know, buy a house so that your family can live in it, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's ridiculous. You know, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just gonna give up.
Got to go
Like,
for the worst one.
What's
Go
that?
for the worst. You go for the worst house that no one wants, and then you just put up with living in a shithole until you fix it up. But yeah,
I've already done that, man. I'm in my 40s, dude. Like, I'm not 20 years old, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I mean, you know, what am I supposed to do? Change the world? It's not gonna happen. We're all just gonna fucking die, right? So whatever, right? Whatever. Who cares? You know,
Yeah,
that's
tough
how
times,
I am.
man.
So
Tough times.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Patty's Petite Tank says, I heard the lady in the grocery store the other day complaining about the time. By the time she gets over there to see the house, it's already sold. Yeah, it's basically how it goes. They list houses here on Thursday, right? And they review the offers on Monday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they take offers on Monday. Okay, we'll take the highest one. Okay. Did they waive every inspection under the sun? Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, Tian Aqua says never surrender. Sure. Whatever.
Yeah, I wonder how many people.
I love that movie. I love that movie. Yeah, the movie's great. I would have loved to have been in that movie. But yeah, it is a movie, you know.
Not No Retreat, No Surrender. Wasn't that a really shitty Van Damme movie or something?
No, it was Galaxy
Chuck
Quest.
Norris.
Remember Galaxy Quest? Never give up, never surrender. Right? That was a good movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never actually watched it, but it always pops up on suggested for you in whatever streaming platform it's on down here.
Yeah.
I think it's on Prime.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is that, like, yeah, a lot of people are like, hang in there, man, you'll get it. We've been at this for 5 months, okay? Like, like, go be insanely stressed out for the next 5 months and then be minus $25,000 plus all the other stuff that we've had to do monetarily wise to try and get all this ball rolling, right? Like, and have nothing to show for it except being stressed out and feeling like crap. So, like, I get it. I'm sure there are some people out there that watch Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Instagram stories and go like, well, I mean, if he can be up at 3 a.m. lifting weights all the time, then I can I can endure this nonsense, right? And it's like, yeah, he's also got $500 million in the bank, and that's his job to work, lift weights. Like, I still have a job. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just over it, dude. It's fucking stupid.
It still takes a certain kind of brain to do that kind of lunatic stuff.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not for everyone. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm dejected, man, and I've got 8 minutes to be on here. So what's going on?
Just keep moving forward. That's all you can do, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was saying before, we've had 2 beautiful clear days, blue sky. We haven't had blue skies 2 days in a row for months at a time. Hello, Sandy Dirty. How are you? So that's been quite nice, except that I was expecting lower temperatures, but yeah, it's quite warm today. One last hurrah before the winter chills come on.
Right, which you don't actually have winter chills.
Yeah, not really. It's winter pleasantries.
Yeah. It was snowing here the other day.
Yeah, you were saying that last week.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
When you're supposed to be thawing out, you get a little bit more ice in your life.
It's supposed to be spring, So, yeah, I don't know. So.
Yeah, that's right, Alyssa. Dry everything out. Or try to.
Yeah. Drying it out, bro.
We're just
no more floods, bro.
The weekend that just went by, we just had the Byron Bay Blues and Roots Festival nearby. That was the first one since before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
And it was potentially their biggest one ever as well, record breaking. And of course, that means when the Blues Festival is on, we get an extra, maybe 10,000 people around town.
Right.
So, no car parks, all these randos walking around like they own the place.
Mm-hmm.
Me walking around in bare feet and looking nothing like the tourists. It's bearable because it is only 5-6 days out of the year. But yeah, very, 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 very annoying to have that many people in your town.
Right.
It's good for the town. It brings money in. Keep telling yourself that, Michael. Brings money in, keeps the businesses rolling, and God knows that lots of the businesses in town need help after the recent floods and whatnot.
Right. I mean, the the reality is like, yeah, I mean, if it is just like a couple days out of the year, it's not that bad, right?
Yeah. But it's also quite funny. I mean, I probably have been guilty of it myself in the past, but how many people really, really, really get the shits with all the extra people in town. But yeah, now I just learn to, smile and keep walking. And just look like a local. because that's what I am. Well, there's so many different types of locals here. Byron Bay was on Weather Channel last week. Gave a quick look at pieces of the town. What was it, like a little story on the town or something, BJ? That's wild. Well, I suppose it's a pretty popular town internationally. Very, very well known.
Wait, what happened?
BJ says Byron Bay was on the Weather Channel with a little article or something.
Oh,
So she
okay.
got a little micro tour of the town on the television.
Right.
Oh, that's poor planning. What a terrible desk layout, Michael. He's got the ashtray way under there. That's no good. Shouldn't be smoking inside anyway, should I?
It's true. It's a good point.
Realistically, I've got to replace this whole roof, that wall, probably that wall and that wall. They're just old fiberglass walls and a pine ceiling, but the pine ceilings had white ants, termites through it. And they're not insulated walls, so it'd be handy to get proper gyprock. Oh, hang on, what do you call it? Rock wall. We've had this discussion before, haven't we?
Drywall.
Drywall, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
And get the carpet ripped out. This carpet is just atrocious. Everything just gets so dusty because of the carpet falling apart.
Right.
So yeah,
See,
that's my justification. I can smoke in here because I'm gonna pull it all down soon anyway.
yeah. I mean, it's gypsum wall board, you know.
Yeah.
So some people call it sheetrock. That's just a company name. Some people call it drywall. That's just a company name. Some people call them Band-Aids. It's just a company
Band-Aids.
name. Some people call them Q-tips. It's just a company name. So yeah, the gyp got removed a long time ago because it's essentially making fun of. I don't even know if you could say gypsies anymore. I think you can say gypsies still.
Yeah, well, you're
the Roma
speculating on an intellectual level about it.
Right. If you're trying to gyp somebody, you're trying to steal from them like the gypsies used to, right? So I don't know. Does it matter?
Yeah, that's
probably to some degree. Probably to like just enough customers. Just enough customers to not buy that product, right? That it you know,
well,
capitalism steps in and goes, well, we can't do that anymore, right?
Mustn't be as big of a concern down here because certainly our largest company that sells that stuff is called Gyprock with the GYP, which it just comes from gypsum, doesn't it? Which is one of the ingredients in it. Yeah, Jimmy P.
It's from gypsum, but the
people can't avoid co-linking things and making them terrible, can they?
Well, if somebody's getting gypped, you're making. You are literally making a slight on the gypsies stealing from people, right? Like that's what that means. So you're like, yes, it's short for gypsum, but also it just on its own could be considered a weird thing to say, right? I mean, it's not a huge community, so you'll probably get away with it. And a lot of them are white presenting often. So you'll probably get away with it. But, you know, I think from a company standpoint, you just go like, don't do that because of that. So I think that's why it's not in the normal lexicon in the States. You know what I mean? Because of that. Because it may have never become a slang term in Australia, right?
Oh, yeah, we get gypped all the time. I think it's a universal one. It's been around for a long time.
Well, it's like if your sheetrock was named, you know, Jude Rock or something, you know, but JEWED, right? Like it's a ripoff, right? Like you just don't do that because it's you know, like you're slandering a group of people, you know, essentially. You know, you just wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't do that as a company because you're going to lose customers. That's basically what it boils down to. Like, if people are ever wondered like where political correctness comes from, it comes from losing customers. That's where it comes from.
I think you're 100% accurate there.
No, I am 100% accurate. Like, why would anyone care? Why would any corporation care? Like, no corporate company would ever say like, oh, you can't be blobbity blah, guys, because that's gonna blobbity blah. Like, they just lose customers. It's just capitalism. That's all that it is, right? That's why you can't make fun of Catholics that much, like too hard. You can't make fun of them too hard because whatever company could get mad, right? If you work for a company that is run by Catholics or something, and you're out doing stand up making fun of Catholics, they're probably going to fire you from the company, right? Like, because a lot of Catholics are going to stop going to the place that you're working at, right? So.
It's that time of year again too, where the IPL cricket tournament is on in India, and
right,
by crikey, the commentators they've been laying it out heavy on the Jew again this year. I know I went on about it last year. Constantly, commentators blaming the state of the game on the Jew. The Jew, I mean, they're obviously trying to say the dew, the water, the moisture on the grass. But they just constantly say Jew instead of dew.
Right.
It's a callback to jokes I made 12 months or more ago. But I can't unhear it now when I hear them talking like that.
Right.
The Jew is making the players slip over. The curse of the Jew. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just tired, man. I'm over it. I'm just over it. I'm over everything. I'm over all of it.
You need a nice long 47-hour sleep.
Can't, dude. Got to get up at 3:30 tomorrow and go to work.
Yeah, the vicious cycle.
Batman's available to rent on YouTube for $28.99. You can just sign up for HBO Max. You can just sign up for HBO Max, watch it, and then cancel. So,
and just pay for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think S said it was for rent for $2.99 on HBO Max. G'day, PNW Aqua.
Yeah, so you don't even need to.
Crikey. That one came from deep.
Yeah.
Deep in the belly.
Deep in the heart.
Here for the classic callbacks.
Here for the classic callbacks. It's true. All right. Well, hey man, I love you to death. I wanted to come on for a little bit. I gotta cut being here short. That's pretty much it for me today.
That's all right, dude. I understand you're in a bit of a pickle with your mind and whatnot. So,
Yeah, well, we have to make a decision on if we're gonna keep trying to move to a property and build a cooler fish room and all that stuff. Because at this point, I don't even want to do it. At this point, I don't even want to build a new fish room. I just don't even care. Just want to push them all out in the street and be done with it. And be like, I'll just come and fix your stupid house, whoever you are, kind of thing. At this point, I'm just kind of, I don't know.
Yes, I can tell you're low when you say you're going to push your fish tanks out into the street. That's almost rock bottom.
Well, I mean, it's like I just feel like at this point, like this is how I feel, right? So I'm allowed to have feelings, and sometimes I express them, and a lot of times I don't. But right now, I feel like what's the point in doing any of this crap? I honestly feel like I put in way too much work into all of this stuff. Like, there's just way too much stuff hanging over my head as far as like having anything to do with anybody. At this point, it's just, it's how I feel. it's like I said, it's a feeling. It's not like an accurate description of the world or anything like that, but it's just how I feel right now, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, even if I did find the right house and the right stuff, it's like, the hell am I gonna go build a giant fish room so I can have like 50,000 subscribers on YouTube or whatever, and like it's just a never-ending sea of work. It's like, hey, let me sign up for a job where I got to work 100 hours a week, you know. So I don't know. I kind of like, you know, I mentioned it. I mentioned it in my community chat earlier. That I was like, I kind of feel like just going and living in the woods and like having no contact with anybody at this point, because it's like I feel like I'm just beating my head against the wall. I'm regularly like, you know, I don't know. I'm like, I'm swimming upstream, you know, and there are some people that are like, yeah, man, I respect what you think, but no one really cares, and no one really thinks to affect any change at all, like remote, even just an ounce of it. So it just, I don't know. I feel worn out. I'm kind of over it. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Happy Tuesday, bro. On that note.
All right, same to you, man. Hopefully tomorrow brings you happier feels and forward momentum.
Probably not, but it is what it is. All right, dude.
It is.
We'll see you later.
All right, man. Take care. Scungy's arrived and Abel's arrived. Everyone's here now. Yeah, it still needs hair cutting and stretching of the strings up. Just keep tuning it. The nylon strings take the longest to stretch in. You want to say hi?
Hi.
That's Sarah's hand, and she said hi. You want to sit here while I make a beverage? Sarah won't sit here and talk to you, everyone, but I'll be back in 17 seconds or a few more. Oh, shit. I do, but not enough. Pardon me. Ooh, all right. Toodaloo. Pardon me. He's a restrung little tiny nylon string guitar for my son. He likes fiddling around with that one, making noises. Bought my old classical guitar back to me last night too, and its top is coming away from the body, so got to get me some top quality wood glue and try and get the top back down. Oh, that's what I should have done, BJ. Yeah, put someone in charge of calisthenics during the lull. That's a great idea. Remember that for next time, BJ. Huh?
Exercises on my stream.
Yeah, BJ says, okay, everyone, stretch to the left, then to the right. Well, I walked away. So, you know, it's a good thing to do when there's downtime. Need someone to take the reins, I guess. Alyssa Bentley says Sarah could do a llama hand puppet to talk to us.
Oh,
You couldn't.
I said that I could.
I think she means that you would use your hair and a hand and do the llamas talking. G'day, Bobo. How do you do? What's a typical day like for me, Jimmy P? Well, Jimmy P, I'm a carer for my elderly parents, so basically my typical day is wake up and get them breakfast and get myself a coffee and do some crosswords, wait to be paged to do the next thing and then the next thing. Basically, I'm just an on-call assistant for them. And, I'll go to the shops and have a few drinks and smoke a bunch of cigarettes. That's pretty much my days. Play some guitars. Oh, that's not a bad idea as well, Alyssa. I should probably do that. I'll do that right this moment. Oh, no. I've just heard from Z-Beam. He won't be here today. He's just had some terrible news. So I'll just send some condolences prior. Grab that. That would explain why he hasn't been here. So how was drawing today? Yeah, I don't do Sudoku, BJ. Shall I move this around a wee bit? I know it was very hard to manage last week.
I'm quite comfortable not being on the camera.
I know. As long as people can hear your sweet tones. Sweet tone, number one.
I did that one special.
Sure you did.
Can I see my
Yeah, let's have a look at your
Because I don't have long because I have got someone with me.
Yes, I did warn the folks that you had your son with you, so you probably wouldn't chill or hang for long.
That's my worksheet one. I can show you.
Oh, you want me to hold them up?
Yeah, because you're in the right spot.
Oh, wait, that's right. We got this glare shit again, don't we?
Yeah. So maybe not. Maybe I just have to show them to you.
I think that helped last time, but I'm not sure if it was just on my screen or if it worked for everyone. Yeah, Bob's Sarah's back to the life drawing group that she goes to. Is that g'day CT3? How are you, Clary? Now, is that like when I put that on my screen at first, it was just vivid white, and all you could see was white. Can you actually see the stuff on the paper? I've got to try and work out whatever the auto light changing stuff is. We're using different kind of pen on that.
Well,
It looks different to your normal strokes.
yeah.
Or is it just that particular strokey style?
Some of these ones here, this was a different pen. I couldn't get the ones that I wanted when I went to the shop, but
These bits is more
this
the
is
bits.
my normal pen.
Yeah, right. That's very nice. What did I send you the wrong one, Alyssa? No. Oh, did I? Yeah, that's the right one. Try again. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's like a almost a Batman-like face. Crikey, I can't work out which way this one goes. I'm going to go with that way. Is that the right way?
You win.
Well, I think I was going to go that way.
No.
But yeah, it certainly looks more appropriate that ways. That one sort of is quite obvious, except for my silly twisting of the arm to try and get it upright. Oh, man. This one looks like it's pregnant in the back.
Mm.
Very nifty. Oh, did you deliberately stuck them up that way? This one looks pretty choice.
How do you mean deliberately?
Like saving the best for last.
Oh, no.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's been wonderful to see you get back into the life drawing and churn some stuff out, even though you've been churning out a bit at home.
I love it. I love that I get to go again.
Whenever Blacky says, "Crikey, it makes me smile." It's like whenever Steve Irwin used to say it used to make me smile. Playing it safe this week. Real sugar.
Yeah. Not that safe because I haven't been drinking coffee again.
That's not coffee.
Oh, it is.
I say like 0.5% coffee or something in the ingredients.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is, if you're talking about this one, PNW or natural, if you want me just to call you that. I can't remember your first name. It's a turkey coda, I call it. Instead of a turkey soda, I get a Björn Bear Skull. Interesting. Yeah, it's wild turkey with some cola and some soda. So it's a turkey coda. Just so happens that coda is an existing word, so it makes sense nearly. Nearly, yeah, nearly. Not perfectly or ideally. But yeah, I can't do undiluted cola beverages. They're just too sweet and leave too much residue in the back of my neck. So yeah, I dilute it down with soda water, but even a couple with cola, and then I'm done. All right, here's a new first-time guest on the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Alyssa Bentley. How's it going?
Hello. It's going all right. I think I
Going all
know
right?
why my phone doesn't like to transfer me over anymore. For some reason, it does this thing where it transposes the numbers and the letters and whatever that make up the URL and turns it into something entirely new. So I have to type it in manually like it's 1996.
Wow. That's a very protective telephone.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's done this before.
Have you met Scungy before, Alyssa?
Hello. I've only ever seen you in the stream, so.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever had you guys face to face.
No.
No. I've not seen you in the face before.
Seen you in the face.
Just right in the face.
Yeah.
Just right there.
I see you right in the face.
Bam. And bam, I see you too.
That'd be a good shirt, actually. I see you right in the face. Even though you can't put intonation into a t-shirt, but anyway.
You've successfully gotten yourself out of the shop.
I can't even lean into that one, can I?
Well, you'd have to scooch in.
Yeah, I'm a bit blocked by furniture and other nonsense. But Sarah does have this natural inclination to not want to be on camera.
Mm.
Mm.
It just feels so much more comfortable.
That's why I was suggesting the hand puppets, because you could just
Yeah.
be out here,
Yeah.
llama. You're like, hello, how are you?
I actually thought you meant that she could go away for a week and create one, make one, because she does make like puppets and stuff, dolls
Oh, I
and
guess
toys.
so.
And now, actually,
Well, I thought it must have been a reference back to some of your old alpacas that you used to felt
Mm.
up. But yeah, no, that was just that would be so much simpler than actually going and manufacturing some toy, not for a novelty few moments on screen.
It's helpful to always have a drama llama on hand because it's your hand.
Literally, yeah.
I could do one of those little faces where you draw the little face on and then talk with have different characters every week.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend that did the old tattoo of the moustache on the inside of his finger, so I could do that. But then I think it might have already been quite passe when he did it. But yeah,
I
think
remember
then,
that being very popular for a while.
you know, oh yeah, I'm going back a few years, quite a few years.
Mm.
Well, wait, I tend to disagree because he grew up working for his father. I suppose no formal schooling, but he learnt a lot of stuff from his dad and just working with his dad and uncle, I think, as well. So not entirely self-taught, but I do get what you're saying. It's like I say, I'm mostly self-taught at playing guitar, but I had like 6 months of lessons when I was 14 or 15 maybe. But then again, I'm not that good a guitar player, so maybe I should have had a few years of lessons instead. Maybe. What's been going on? You've been digging pipes or some nonsense?
Yeah, well, our tub got clogged, and traditionally the method to unclog the pipe has been to just grab the plunger really quick and just plunge it out.
So when you say tub,
I can
you
just
mean
do
your
this all the time. Yes, bathtub. Yeah. And then the other day, the sink was also clogged in that same bathroom, so I plunged that out too. But then that clogged the bathtub so hard that plunging it didn't do anything other than squirt water back at us through the vent.
the overflow.
Yeah, and so finally I was like, I guess I got to go get a pipe snake or something, and I ended up getting a 25-foot auger, and I just sat there and just got it out.
So you did have success in the end?
Oh yeah, I fished it out, and it was this big thing. Look, it was almost as big as a mouse. It wasn't a mouse; it was hair, but we got
Good
it.
old. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to deal with that situation soon, won't I? With all the friggin' hair that I drop in the shower.
Yeah, I just got my hair shortened so it's able to slip around the screen now. Otherwise, it gets caught. And yeah, anyways, I don't know. That's just what we're dealing with our bathtub, I guess. I don't know how entertaining that is really, but The other thing that we're doing is we're trying to get our galvanized plumbing replaced because it's a 116-year-old house, and the pipes are 116 years old, and that's past the end of life for galvanized.
Yeah,
so
sure.
We're just kind of shopping around, getting estimates. It's kind of fun.
Oh, BJ. We love you, Sarah. We love to see the beautiful face that goes with that incredible voice.
I'm looking forward when I go home. So my toilet clogs up all of the time.
Mm.
Something in the way my children use the toilet. It always clogs up. So what I need to have is a mop, one of those ones with all of the long, soft threads off the bottom of it, not like a spongy one. And you stick that in the toilet, and you've got to do it really fast. And it unclogs the toilet. But in the process, it sucks all the like poo and stuff that's been stuck in the pipe back into the bowl while you're doing it. It's really fun, and it's blocked. I didn't do it this morning because I had to rush off to drawing. So I'm going home to engage in that joyful activity.
Do you mean like a yarn mop?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you have one? Because there's an old one out there in the lean-to. Oh, you've got
I have one. It lives in its gross little bucket just for that job.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to use that for your floors.
No,
counterintuitive.
That's its only purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, I picked up the one out in the lean-to the other day to use it, and when I picked it up, there was just this shower or this vapor trail of dust that were from all the yarn that was decomposing and falling apart.
Probably not a good one to try and unclog the toilet with then.
Maybe. I just figured it was at its end of life.
Quite vigorous. Because what you got to do is you're kind of shoving it down the pipe so it creates the suction then as you move it back and forth. You know.
Kids need more fibre internally.
Yeah.
I think they'd get a fair bit of fibre,
yeah,
don't they?
They do. I'm pretty fussy about how my kids eat. But what they need to do is I need to like keep the toilet paper in like a locked cupboard. And when they need to go to the toilet, I've got to dole out just how much they're allowed to use.
Or institute a double flush policy.
Yeah, well, I was trying to say that.
Flush as you go.
Flush as you go. Firstly, always make sure it's flushed before you use it. And then if you do a poo and then you need to wipe, and you feel like you got to do more wiping, stop, have a flush, and then finish wiping. Or just go in the shower. You can just wash your bum in the shower. That's fine. But they're not seeming to be changing despite all my advice.
I think it took all of my boys well into their teens before they really worked out that they needed to up their game with their bathroom habits and whatnot. They were quite gross and pissed on the floor a lot, and my oldest son has a similar issue with his butt that I have with mine. So once I trained him in my processes, he followed suit and learnt himself those as well. Because wiping's pointless for me. It just keeps coming and keeps coming. So I've installed a hose thing in my shower, which makes pooping such a more pleasant after experience. Back in the old days when I used to wipe and I'd just literally tear the crap out of my ass before I said, no, this toilet paper's destroying me. It's making me bleed all the time. And then I'd still put my pants back on, and then an hour later, itchy bum, skid marks. Washing is so much better. G'day, Nola.
BDs for everyone.
Sorry, Nola. Sorry, Nola had to come in on the poo talk. But now at least everyone knows how I go to the toilet and what I do. Such good, valuable information to have stored.
Mm-hmm. It's good to know.
No shame. A lady on YouTube assumed most people poo in the shower. Did she come from a third world country or something? That's pretty brutal. I wouldn't do that.
Just waffle stomp it all down there.
Waffle stomp it. Wow. I hadn't heard that for so long, and I'm sure I heard it last week, and now I'm hearing it again. What was
I'm so glad to bring that back to you.
I'm a big fan of potty humour. I don't mind the old filthy, dirty, grotty jokes and giggling at farts and burps and pooing and whatnot. It's only natural, isn't it?
It's a good thing I'm here then.
Yeah, I think they're the flushable wet wipes Huawei are more trouble than they're worth. Not only for your plumbing, but further down the system as well. I think I heard someone when they were talking about the flooding and whatnot, and the water treatment plants, and the senior technician or whatever from one of the local water treatment plants was saying that those flushable wipes are one of their biggest issues that they have, clogging up the system, at a bigger level at the treatment plant instead of just in your, 90 mil pipe that we use here for our sewage pipes.
Mhm.
Oh, 90 mil, sorry. Let's call it 3 inches, roughly.
That saves me from having to do the conversion in my head.
Unless you want precision. Oh,
We don't
that's
deal
another
with
one too.
precision here.
What was the oh, now I can't remember what it was on. There was this show that was talking about people that are super huge on saving money, and yeah, one of them was that they would use rags to wipe in the toilet and put them in a particular bin, and then they'd get washed and reused. Another one was newspaper for toilet paper, because they weren't like broke people or anything, but they just had these silly ideas in their mind that this is how they're going to save heaps and heaps of money. Let's scratch our butts up with newspaper, or possibly risk contamination with fabric.
Would that ink irritate your bum?
Well,
If you rub a newspaper, you get that ink on your fingers.
How come they wrap fish and chips in it? However, they don't seem to do that so much anymore, do they? Maybe they did discover some things about the ink that it shouldn't be in contact with food. Anyway, let's stop talking about poo for now.
Yeah, let's. So we're going to start getting into my when I was a house cleaner stories.
I will say, though, to Huawei that, yes, it is definitely the way to go, even if it's not a bidet in your toilet. Hooking up like I've got a switch on my shower hose, so I can switch the water from the shower head or to the hose, or both at once. That's certainly the best place to do it, I reckon. As long as you wash your shower frequently, you don't want it getting too gross in there.
Right. When your shower smells, you're not cleaning your bathroom enough.
So true. G'day, Danny Ken. How are you, Kearney?
I'm in a safe place.
Yes, love.
My back's long.
I've got Sarah doing stretches on the bed beside me here.
She got jealous of the calisthenics from earlier, apparently.
Potentially, yeah.
I missed out.
Yeah.
It's exercise is infectious, apparently. It's
generally
not.
when it's, it's like something that you're supposed to do, and then you see like a couple people who are doing it nearby, and you're like, all right, I guess I'll get up and walk around too.
The old peer pressure.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a decent motivator.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
No, she's got to go soon, Huawei. There'll be none of that today. Huawei says you're limbering up for me. Oh, Ryan, that's PNW Aqua, isn't it? How silly of me to forget his name. Silly
I
indeed.
never knew his name, and he lives within driving distance of my house.
Yeah. You've been
Yeah.
stalking, have you?
Yeah, I just asked him because he says he's PNW Aqua, and PNW is common for Pacific Northwest,
I knew
where I
that
live.
acronym.
And yeah, I asked him in the chat, so I pre-cheated.
Yeah, I certainly shouldn't have forgotten his name. It's one of my names. One of them. What else has been going on in the Pacific Northwest? Do you get snow too?
Well, we got snow, but it didn't stick anywhere in my little neighborhood. So we get to watch the snow fall, but it didn't stick, and
Just
it
landed
just
and
warmed
melted.
right up the next day and was fine. Yeah, but it was interesting to watch it fall. It was
In the spring.
Yeah, it was just like a couple weeks ago, I think, and but then it stopped. And I know that most of the people out on the east side of the continent are getting a lot of snow right now still, and I think that's crazy. And I'm really glad I don't live where I grew up, because then I would have been in the thick of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think weather's going to have us confused for a few years in the next few years, doing lots of different things that we don't expect.
Yes, but
Upset all the weather modeling that they've spent years developing. Ooh.
But we're going to start thinking that it's normal very soon. It's going to get harder and harder to convince people that it's not normal. People will be like, I remember back in the day when, and then somebody will be like, go on with your stories, Grandpa.
Okay, boomer. Do people
Weather's
still say
always crazy. What?
Yeah, that's what I was saying before too. This is kind of a crazy day for this time of year. Normally we get our last burst of hot, sunny weather in the middle of March, towards the end of March. And to have it happen in April, I guess, is just as bizarre for you guys to be having snows in the spring.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. Like, you guys are stealing our warmth.
No, we're just swapping for a little while longer.
I don't think Australia needs to get any hotter.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it will.
Yeah.
But, I shouldn't complain too much, because there's certainly parts of Australia that get a hell of a lot hotter than what we do. Our hottest is probably 44, 45 degrees C. And that's,
Still
not
pretty
for
dang hot.
It is. It's quite hot. And when it's really, really humid at the same time, it really messes you up and takes it out of you. But generally, it's like, it's a day here and there. You get these ridiculous high temperatures, but it's not, you don't get, sometimes we get a heat wave or something, but generally you don't get 3 or 4 days on the trot of ridiculously hot, humid weather. We do tend to get a little bit of a break. But yeah, generally we sit around, high 30s for our summer temps.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we last summer, I think it got to, I'm going to use imperials here, 115 or so, or 110 Fahrenheit, which is very, very hot for here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it burned some of my plants.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's in your high 40s as well, 45, 46-ish, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. My conversion brain doesn't necessarily always function spot on.
Yeah, and I because I'm using my phone to stream, I have nothing to look up the conversion. So,
Google stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I can't do both at the same time. My phone, it doesn't do both things. It doesn't
Yeah,
like to multitask.
Especially because StreamYard is I don't know if it's just StreamYard or if it's most streaming in general, really cooks a phone and uses your battery super rapid.
Hmm. I do have it plugged into the outlet, which is actually why I'm sitting right here in the basement, pointed to this really beautiful background, as you can see.
I actually really like that wall. I love that
You really?
old concrete look. Yeah.
Nice.
Weathered concrete. I'd like all
It's
my floors to be like that.
Maybe
I
if you
think-
put a layer of glass over it or something.
Yeah, you polish it up and epoxy it. Not polish it up, leave it weathered and then lay your epoxy on top of it.
Yeah, for
there
sure.
we go.
Level it out.
Wow. Huawei's chucked the conversion up. 110 is 43.3.
Okay.
So I was a
Yeah,
little bit
so that's
higher.
not even that hot for you guys.
Oh, I mean, it still is. I'm getting older and fatter, and I feel the heat when the humidity comes around. So 43 is definitely a hot day. Like I said, most of our summer days are probably more likely 35s and 36s, which is bearable. Especially when you've got air conditioning and you can sit in 19 degrees.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of places where it's really hot, you know, there's lots of stuff established for dealing with the heat. But I think that, I mean, certainly what I knew is that, like, from years ago here, hardly anybody had air conditioning. Like, there's no where to go and get reprieve unless you go in the water from the heat. But, like, I had friends who lived in Darwin where it gets really, really hot. But they're like, every house, every home has air conditioning. So there's all this sort of stuff in place for people to be able to deal with it. You've got to have something.
That's very
Right,
true.
Scungy's about to make tracks, ladies and gentlemen, and others.
Oh, it was so nice to meet you.
In the
Right
face?
in your face.
That's going to stick, I think.
I like
I
it.
think
Good to see you in
you
your
should.
face. Right in the
Right
face.
in the face. Just right there.
If I ever get back to making videos, I'll have to try and work out a way to weave it into the dialogue each time, or the, what do you call it, the script? Because so many of my videos have been scripted before. Oh, goodness me. Respect to those people who can do scripted videos. That's fantastic that you've got the patience and the drive to do that kind of thing.
100% of the videos that I put onto the internet are just my fish were doing something cool. So I started taking video of it. And then I remember maybe a few minutes in that maybe I should talk and say what it is that's cool about it.
Yeah.
So then I start talking. And yeah, so that's why I think I have like 207 subscribers.
Yeah, I think after my I did like a 5.5 hour live stream last week, and I think after that I lost quite a few subscribers. I dropped about 20, I think, in the last week or so.
Oh man.
All right, I'm just going to duck out and go and give Sarah a squeeze and a toodaloo and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, g'day, Mickham. How are you?
Hi.
You have to come closer if you want to be on camera. Your fingers didn't even make it on that time. She was doing this.
Oh. If she's gonna wave by her head, she has to put her face in the camera.
Yeah. She's going back to calisthenics.
Okay.
I've got a really tall hip back.
Hip back.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back in a tick. You
Okay.
Entertain the kids with a story from your childhood or something.
Okay, let's see. When I was a kid. Okay, we'll talk about snow from when I was a kid. When I was a kid in 1989, I lived in Minnesota, and in the morning we walked to school, and it was, like 50 degrees, which is still plenty warm out. You could wear shorts. And then on the way home, or in the middle of the day in school, it started storming and blizzarding. And by the time we were walking home from school, the snow was already this deep, which is, it's almost a foot, but not quite. And it was pretty nuts. My sister was wearing shorts and her legs turned bright red just from the snow. We did make it home, which is good, and we didn't die, and nobody lost any toes. But yeah, it was scary, man. It was scary. Let me tell you. That is not a thing that you want to have happen. So if you're in Minnesota and it's in like late October, at least wear pants if you're going for a walk anywhere, even if it seems like it's nice. I guess I could, let's see, camera. Nope, that's the wrong button. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? What is the chat doing? Oh, Jimmy P subscribed to me. Thank you. Mickham's here. P&W doing conversions for us. All right. I could talk about fish. Do we want to talk about fish? Let's see. Can I turn this camera around? I used to be able to do that once upon a time. Settings, camera, front camera, back camera. There we go. There. Now you guys can see what I'm looking at. It's great. These are just my super reds. They're eating. I also have some calicos in this tank. Yeah. They're hiding over here and being very difficult to spot. Okay, what do we got? Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, they I find that if you feed them kind of a variety of foods and keep them with in a tank with like tannins and stuff, they tend to color up pretty bright. I had some super reds that I had got. They were almost yellow looking, and then I put them in this tank, and they started going in there. Let's see, GRB. Also, what is my favorite pleco that I have? I don't know if I'll be able to find her, but let me take you off the stand and we can go for a walk. It'll be fun. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, they hid really fast. In here. Now. Okay. Well, she's hiding. I have one L255 somewhere in here. Roughly once a week I can see her. But not all that often. Other than that, I really like my Snow Whites. Which I do have several of, but they haven't bred for me in a little while. I expect they'll probably breed in May or June. Yeah, it looks like they've largely finished up most of their lunch, but this is a long fin that I'm pretty excited about. Want to get her to breed. What are you? Yeah, you're a male. Thinks he's hiding. Oh no, he figured it out. We can see him. Okay. Let's see. The other ones, these guys are kind of tied for my favorite right now. So these guys are my, hopefully I'm not glitching out. I know sometimes when I come over here, I glitch. These guys are albino green dragons. And I have green dragons also. And what makes these guys special is that I found one randomly in a pet shop and kind of spent a lot of time trying to figure out what in the heck it even was. And finally just randomly bred him with a green dragon female and ended up with green dragons. And these guys are, I think, that original fish's great grandchildren. I had actually sent kids or grandkids off to hi, we're talking about fish now.
It's quite a strange subject for this channel.
I know, it's sort of my default. If I'm left to my own, I'm just gonna start talking about my fish.
I don't mind that at all. You know, it's a good change up.
Yeah, you know. It sometimes works that way. But yeah, so I ended up sending a pair of these to a friend of mine who lives in Virginia before I moved to this house, because I just wanted to make sure that they survived, you know, so that I could, just in case something happened. And luckily I did that, because something did happen. And so he ended up sending me back some fish later on. And that's how I continue the legacy of my first bristlenose lemon cakes, the albino green dragon.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can get them down here. I think our fanciest ones are still just the plain old long fins without your fancy color names like your green dragons and all the other whatever other ones there are. I don't even know them because I can't see them, can't get them.
I think you have super reds.
Yeah, we get super reds. I think I might have even accidentally bred some super reds when I was breeding lots and lots of what I assumed were albino bristlenose. and then I got some that certainly would probably be passable as super reds with their colorings. And then I chucked a standard common bristlenose in with them as well, and then I started to get all these nice calicos and different patterns and whatnot. It's good.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
But yeah,
it's
unfortunately,
interesting.
I'm down to probably, what have I got? 7 in that tank. Yeah, only 8 bristlenose I think I've got left now out of my hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that I had not too many years ago. So yeah, I'm trying to establish one of my tanks at least where I can produce some offspring. I've got a male in my tank inside. It's just a 3-foot tank with some white clouds and some ember tetras and some cherry shrimp and one male bristlenose. And I put a female in there maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and she was not findable after about 2 weeks. So I don't know if she just died from unhappiness or from abuse.
Mm.
But
They
yeah, I was expecting them to breed.
Yeah, they can definitely die and then just end up getting eaten like right away,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
a huge
I
shame.
don't think I've ever had to remove a dead bristlenose carcass from a fish tank because if there's any other bristlenose in the tank with it, those carcasses disappear pretty quick, and all you're left with is, you know, you might get some plates and a jaw or a skull or something left behind, but generally never tend to find any bits.
Yeah. My first bristlenose lemon cakes, when he passed away, I ended up finding his skull. Oh, buddy, where did he go? All right. Well, I was trying to get my sunfish on camera, but I guess not.
Doesn't want to play.
No,
Yeah,
he's like,
I had one of my longest living gibbiceps that I was keeping maybe 10 or 12 years ago, and it had died. And I got the body before any of the other plecos in the tank got a chance to get at it. And I'd placed it out on this particular place at the side of the house where I wanted the body just to decompose so I could keep all the bits.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, my dad went out. He was out there and saw it, and he was like, "What the heck's this?" And just picked it up and flung it into the creek and just chucked it. It's like, now I don't get it. And then the next one that I found dead was dead a long, long time, and I didn't have the patience to try and piece that skeleton back together. But it's pretty impressive how their body's made up of all those, you know, armor plates and whatnot. Pretty brutal
Oh yeah.
fish.
Yeah, they're
That's some
pretty
pretty tanks
crazy.
you got going there. Oh, they use super reds, long fin super reds.
These are my super reds. I don't actually have long fin super reds.
Yeah, no, it's just that
Sadly.
big chunky one at the front there. It's 2 side fins were sitting together nicely. It looked like a long fin. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's
Or girl.
that's Big Bertha, I call her. She's got the most eggs of anything I've ever seen in my life. It's insane.
Yeah. Has she got some age on it? She must be pretty.
She's hold on. I can actually say how old she is. I got her maybe 3 years ago. So and she was a tiny, she was like this big when I got her.
Yeah, right.
So I think unless we just want to stare at the super reds all day, but we probably don't.
They're quite pretty.
They are really pretty.
Huawei asks, what are the fish that have suction cups for mouths that usually stick on the sides of tanks?
Those are those little stuffed animal ones.
Yeah, that's the plush toys from Aquarium Co-op. I think that's the ones you're talking about.
Yeah. Was it Mickham asked about my sunfish? That's actually a Ela Gilberti. Let's see. Camera, front camera, go back, and there we go. And now I'm back. Now you have to stare at me. I know. I'm not as pretty as the fish. It's okay. I understand. So yeah, so the Elasoma Gilberti, I've got several pairs going on in there. Like if we could actually see what's going on in this big cube tank, I've got all my Scarlet Baddest breeding in there, and
Scarlet what? Oh, the badasses.
yeah, little Scarlet Baddises. I don't know. I've got a bunch of them breeding in there. They were hiding today, though. I don't know. So it's also dark and the lights are going down, so everybody's kind of chilling out a little bit. Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, it's a better time for the plecos, but yeah.
Do the baddest breed quite successfully for you, or have you achieved it yet?
Yes. I started with 3, and then I had like 22, and then I chucked them in that 60-gallon cube, and now I don't know how many I have.
As in, there's countless numbers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. That's pretty good, successful breeding then.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if we can get them down here, but they've always been of interest to me. But I suppose I suppose they haven't been that much interest to me because I haven't tried to source them from somewhere. But I've always enjoyed the look of them and their behaviours and whatnot.
Yeah,
and they don't seem to be badasses at all.
They are kind of badasses. I had put my original trio in with Endlers, and Endlers are little crazy things, and they are always picking at everything, and they were breeding in there with them.
Picking on everything. I like how you put that.
Yeah, and I mean they'll try to eat my arm when I'm doing stuff in the tank.
It's called foreplay, love. Foreplay.
A weird foreplay, but I have dated a guy like that before.
G'day, Vince. How's it going? Did I already say hi to Vince? Oh, that so looked like you were necking some vodka then.
Oh, nah. This would be a heck of a lot of vodka.
That's
but
the spirit.
With a handy handle.
Yeah, that's a festival vodka.
Right?
Yeah, what else have we got going? Hydrated. That's right. Good ideas. You'll see now that I have reverted to a turkey soda instead of a turkey coda. I've had too much cola already. It makes my neck go all like, it feels like it's covered in syrup. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I think I was very, very, because I try and not drink cola because that's one of my worst enemies, being a bourbon drinker, a big bourbon drinker. I drink a lot of bourbon. When I drink it with cola, I tend to put on weight very, very rapidly. And one of my favorite scientists who I listen to on the radio, actually, because I've firmly believed for many years that diet soft drinks or no sugar soft drinks, they were reported to be a carcinogenic substance, the sweeteners that they used. And then one of my favorite scientists, Dr. Karl Krishelnitsky from Australia, said that that's all nonsense and that it's not a carcinogenic product at all. So I started drinking, I like Coke no sugar is probably the best one, because it's Coke Zero was terrible, but Coke no sugar is better. Apparently it's supposed to be the same thing, but it's a slightly different recipe, because it was called Coke Zero, and then it was called Coke Zero Sugar. Actually, it was called Coke Zero Sugar when I first started drinking the no sugar colas, and then the next week it was called Coke No Sugar, and I was so confused, even though the label was the same color, the same design, but it had changed from zero to no. And I thought, wow, those marketing people, earn their money, don't they? Earn
They're
their
really
money.
trying. They try
Oh.
so hard, and they make so much money.
Out there pushing boundaries every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have qualifications in marketing and advertising, diplomas in both. And when I basically finished that course, I was like, this is not the gig for me. This shit's evil. I don't want to do it.
Oh. That's yeah. I used to do online marketing for a living. But it always felt so dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just know deep down inside that you're basically either playing on people's insecurities or you're playing on people's stupidities. You know,
Mhm.
taking advantage of people with not 100% of their faculties available to them, so to speak.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you know, I suppose we're also as a species we've become conditioned just to accept advertising and lap it up.
I don't
Some
know if that's
advertising is great.
necessarily true.
How so? You
Well,
don't think we've become conditioned to it?
I think some like my mom and her generation are so used to there being so many advertisements they don't think about it, right? It's just constantly on. They've always got a TV on in the background and there's just commercials every 10 minutes just blaring out all over the place. My sister is the same. One of my sisters is the same way. It makes it super irritating to just go over to their place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, can we just have a conversation? We could turn the TV off.
And then they go.
But
that's the thought process of turning the TV off. What?
well, they don't even notice it anymore because it's just the background noise.
Background
It's
noise.
just
Yeah.
to them like they might as well have music on in the house, and it's not. It's not music. It's I don't know, something horrible, and then advertisements. And I spent a really long time being so destitute that I couldn't afford a television. I just couldn't. And I got so used to not watching TV and not having any sort of network advertising or anything like that, that now I'm like, anytime I have the option to skip an ad, I will.
Agreed. Yeah, I have this exactly the same situation with my folks. And fuck, it does my head in. My old man has 3 different sets of hearing aids. And when I'm in the house, because where I live is kind of a little bit separate from the main house, but I go in there to cook them dinner and stuff, and they have the commercial television network on that they watch their shows on. I've given them an Amazon Fire Stick, and I've put Netflix, I've put Disney, I've put Prime, I've put even the TV channels, their online versions on there, but they'll still watch the broadcast television. And because my dad refuses to wear his bloody hearing aids, the fucking volume's so loud. And then your ads, they do the audio different in the ads, so they're 4 times as loud as your broadcast. And it's like, fuck, that does my head in, just being in the house listening to the nonsense that they watch when they could be watching highly intelligent television without advertising. But no. Let's watch gutter journalism and nonsense reality TV instead.
They could be watching trash cartoons or something on Netflix and not have to deal with the advertisements. You know, I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you won't find my dad watching cartoons. Oh, no. He's a stickler for the old school. Even though he watches friggin' what's that stupid dating show, Married at First Sight. I don't know if you have a version of that in America yet. Or Bachelor. I know you've got that.
I don't know, because we don't pay for cable at my house. So, and we're not really interested in that kind of thing. So I haven't sought it out, is what I'm saying. But I know that some of my one of the YouTubers that I watch is like a family psychiatrist, and sometimes she'll watch those kinds of shows and like be like, okay guys, so this is what's not healthy about this relationship, and this is not the way to develop a healthy relationship that's actually going to last. And so I've actually heard of this show, but only from that context, is what I'm saying.
You've heard of the Married at First Sight show?
Yes.
I mean, it's a
Sounds
really
insane.
it's a really interesting concept, and they do call it, like, constantly, every episode you'll hear about 9 times they'll call it a social experiment, but really they're just fucking with people's heads.
Yeah.
And it just becomes the same nonsense as all those Bachelor and The Farmer Wants a Wife. That's another one I think that originated in Australia. It's basically The Bachelor, but the Bachelor's a farmer, so he's a good country boy. G'day, Aquaman and Vitra. How's it going? But yeah, I'm super surprised that kind of television even entertains my father for 5 minutes. I thought he'd be incredibly pissed off about it, but for the most part, there's like, pretty girls in minimal clothing and stuff like that. So I think that kind of might maintain his interest for the period of an episode or whatever.
Yeah, it could be. And he might just be of an age where he likes to hear his stories and feel like he's still in it.
Maybe he's deeply invested in the romance.
Maybe.
That's
maybe
total sarcasm, not my dad.
Maybe he's secretly like online chatting with people in some chat room or whatever for talking about this show.
I'm gonna stop you there because online and my dad doesn't exist. I've tried to get him to do his lottos online. I've tried to get him to, what else have I tried to get him to do online? Watch YouTube videos. There's lots of interesting stuff on there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he won't actively seek it out when he can just turn the TV on to Channel 9 or Channel 7 and watch his ads with a little bit of TV show in between. Yeah, that'll do him. Doesn't listen to music, doesn't do anything. Reads a newspaper every day, but there's only bloody nonsense in the newspapers, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just drives me crazy. Like, why? So we have Hulu, which is another streaming service, kind of like Netflix. I don't know if you have that in Australia. I just don't. So that's why I'm explaining it. And we pay for just the cheap version, so we have to listen to ads. But because it's online streaming, they specifically take whatever it is that we've been searching for through our browser, through our Wi-Fi, and it'll target those ads at us.
You get some interesting ads based on your searches.
We get a lot of weird like dating ads, like, oh, Christian singles, and I'm like, neither of those things apply. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think targeted advertising is going to, really open some people's minds to what they type into their computers, didn't it?
Yeah, it's just.
And you're
really
like
interesting.
You're like freshly betrothed or something, can't you? So that's the last thing you guys need to be seeing is singles ads.
Yeah, I don't know if we got engaged over 2 years ago now.
Oh, right. That's not freshly betrothed then, is it? That's 2 years ago betrothed.
Yeah, it was right before the shutdowns, March 13th, 2020. And and it just, we've already been together now for over 7 years, and been living together, and we own a house together. We just haven't done the ceremony and gotten married yet, mostly because we didn't want to bring vulnerable elderly people traveling across the country.
Sure. Yeah,
And
sensible.
yeah, and start a mass spreader event and then kill everyone that we love.
I kind
it's
of
not doing that anymore, but still.
yeah. I like the word betrothed better than married. I'd rather walk around saying I'm betrothed instead of I'm married.
Yeah,
Married
it's
seems, even though betrothed is a very old word, marriage just seems so old school.
To me, betrothed sounds like something that has happened to you, whereas getting engaged is something that you have entered into willingly.
Yeah.
And that is why I don't use the word betrothed, because my
Well,
parents didn't come up and sell me to his parents.
Yeah, that it's pretty much where the word comes from, isn't it? From the old royal families and the wealthy people in Europe selling their daughters off to the next richest man, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, your words aren't going to stop me using it. I'm still going.
I'm
to
not
use
saying that you have to. You can still you can use whatever words you want. I'm not the word police. I'm just saying that's why I use engaged, and sometimes I just say my husband because I don't want to be like my fiance, and I've been saying my fiance for 2+ years.
Isn't it crazy that a female fiance only has 2 E's at the end, but a male fiance only has the 1 E?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love the gendering of some foreign languages, and I really, really wonder how they're getting on these days when they're trying to remove gender from,
yeah, that is interesting.
what do you call it? Polarized, either a he or a she. How does Latin or
No more
or
binaries.
German or French get on with their very gendered languages?
That is very true. Where even like a chair has a gender.
Yeah,
It's it is an interesting trick, and it just it makes me glad that that's not where I am, because that would give me a headache every single day, I think. Just trying to keep up.
I might go back to Vince made a comment before about, I read drinking artificial sweetener tricks your body into thinking there is sugar consumed, but it cannot find any. Whatever sugar or fat it can find in your system, it stores. Not sure if it's true. I believe this actually is true, Vince, because I'm fairly certain when Dr. Carl was talking about it not being a carcinogen, I do believe that he did go on and talk about the trickery and the fooling of your body, but I'm not sure if he I might have to go back and listen to that podcast again, because I'm sure there was something about the trickery and what it does to your body and confuses your body. So potentially you are spot on, Vincenzo.
I have read that as well. So
yeah, it makes you gain weight anyway, whether you're taking sugar or not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's just considering that I'm watering down my cola, I might as well just piss it off anyway and not drink cola. I don't need the caffeine or anything. I'm oversensitive to caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I need more of that stuff. So I think I'll just go back to leaving the cola out of my diet and see if I drop weight again. Because the last time I stopped drinking cola, I got down to like 89 kilograms, which is pretty much as heavy as I was in year 10 in high school in 1990. So as a 40-something-year-old man, I was lighter than I was at 17 years old. I was like, that's a great achievement. Yay, I did it. and then started drinking cola again, and then COVID hit, and I'm just sitting around growing my hair long and getting fat. So yeah, and then that then harkens back to BJ's earlier comment about getting out there and doing some exercise. People, I've really got to do that. There's a
Right.
freaking exercise bike inside. I don't even sit on it because it's in there in the lounge room with the very bloody loud TV.
Exercise bike? You mean the thing that people put their clothes on?
Yeah, I did have it. I had it out here in my outside sitting space for quite a while. And then my dad wanted it back in his lounge room so he could use it because he had it for he's had a few knee reconstructions and they've all not worked. He's still got broken, can't walk properly, can't use his legs properly. So his idea was to put it back in there so he can get on it and do some rehab exercises and whatnot. Hasn't sat on it once since I took it back in there. So I'm just going to bring it back out here. And, you know, maybe I'll have to rig up some kind of little desk or something so I can do my crosswords on it while I'm pedaling 5Ks each morning. Try and get rid of these tits.
Right. You don't need them.
They're pretty
what are you
nice.
feeding with those?
Yeah, certainly not my ego.
Yeah, fair. I was put on a medication, which the optometrist, I don't know why he thought he was into it, but he was like, oh, you go on this medication, you're going to lose weight because, you know, the things that you like aren't going to taste so good anymore. And I was like, oh, interesting. And so I'm on the medication. It's not for weight loss. It's actually to try to deal with some additional inflammation I have in my brain, which was threatening to make me blind. And nothing tasted different. And I was like, okay, well, I don't understand why this isn't working for me. And later, after he was yelling at me for somehow not losing weight on this pill.
Your doctor was yelling at you.
Yeah, he's not a nice man. But I looked it up, and it turns out what it does is it makes carbonated fizzy drinks or sodas taste bad. But I don't like sodas anyway.
He was
I
just
don't drink
making
soda.
assumption.
Yes. People just assume things and they don't want to just listen to you and be like, that's not what I do though. That's not why I'm fat. Good try though.
Yeah, I certainly I don't do them because I can't do excessively sweet stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So most soft drinks are ridiculously sweet. Most flavored milks and iced coffees and stuff are ridiculously sweet.
Yeah.
So I just stay away from them. And yeah, I think I'll just stick with my soda water because I enjoy the taste of my bourbon too. So you taste more of the bourbon without all that sweetness in there. GRB, I did not go over to Byron Bay for the Blues Festival, but about 10,000 people came into my town. Yeah, I don't got time for festivals like that. I think it's bloody expensive too. If you want to, even just for a day, it's ridiculously priced. They're you know, it's exclusive now. You've got to be wealthy and have a lots of dollars in your bank account spare to do the Blues Fest, based on the amount of the different types of humans that I saw wandering around my town over the last 5 or 6 days. Definitely a lot of extra money has come in, but I don't know how much they left behind. What I did find very funny is that the Blues Fest in Byron Bay is renowned for wet weather and mud and stuff. And the amount of people I saw getting around in white pants and white dresses and white shoes, I was thinking, This is your first time to Blues Fest, isn't it, you fools? You're going to be brown pants, brown dresses, brown shoes by the end of the day.
It's fine if they just roll around in it. Just give in and roll around in the mud,
Yeah.
and then you're completely muddy. Let it dry and flake off. No one will know the difference.
Yeah, own that brown. Vitra, my doc says same thing. Why am I not losing weight? Which same thing, Vitra? Right. If I binge and lounge, I weigh the same as when I take vitamins, walk, and eat properly. Yeah, that's. I think that's like GRB says, the yuppie hippie. I think that's the people that Blues Fest is for these days. It's for wealthy people who want to pretend that they're still mucking around in the dirt at festivals and stuff, but it's all, Chardonnays and dark chocolate and fancy hats and whatnot, gumboots with patterns.
Sounds like Burning Man out here.
Did that get very gentrified as well, did it?
It's so I haven't been recently, but the reports that I've gotten back have been that now it's like Microsoft will go over there with a bunch of Microsoft people, and they'll set up a Microsoft section.
Oh,
And
right.
yeah, with all of their like really interesting setups and stuff, and
Like at an expo or something where they're trying to hawk their product, or are they just providing a
no,
space
they're
for
just
people to be all
out there
Microsoft?
being really wealthy and just holding space and just
Yeah, right.
kind of ruining the vibe of the festival, and or like such and such a billionaire is out there with his cronies or something, and just kind of ruining the vibe of the festival, when back in the 90s it was like just a bunch of artists from across the country would go in and work on like art cars and make crazy art stuff in the desert.
Yeah, money always ruins the fun stuff, doesn't it? And yeah, like
does.
Mickham says, I was gonna say Coachella was on just this weekend gone. Is do you reckon that's going to go the same way? Because it was the same sort of thing, wasn't it? Just some wild hippie festival, and it just seems to be becoming more mainstream and more mainstream. Or was it always?
Well, I
just
thought
a
it
big
already
mainstream
had.
festival? Yeah, I don't know
I
much
thought it
about
always kind of was, so I don't know. Yeah.
I tend not to think of Coachella until the time of year that it's occurring, and then all of a sudden Twitter and Instagram is just full of Coachella posts for 2 days, and then it's all over again for another 363 days.
Yeah, I mean, the festivals that I used to do, I used to go to like Ozfest every year, and which is Ozzy Osbourne's fest, has nothing to do with Australia. Just by the way. And yeah, for many years in a row, 1998 to, I don't know, 2004 or something like that. So that's not that many years, but it felt like a lot of years because I was quite young at the time. A lot of energy to be out there all day long in the sun and getting
Experimenting with
into the
all of
craft.
the hard drugs.
No, I'm a weird kind of straight edge kind of chick. I would go out there and pretend to do drugs, but then not do the drugs.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, it was. All my friends did drugs, and that's fine.
All the
But somebody had to make sure that we got home.
yeah, that's a good point. You were the mum at 17.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we have incredibly creative names for some of our festivals down here. Like one of them, actually, I don't even know if it's still going. I think it might have stopped. Was the Big Day Out? I thought the
Big
marketing
day out.
team, yeah, the marketing team really earned their money when they wrote that one down on paper.
Oh, it's adorable.
Splendor in the Grass. That's a much better name for a festival. That one still goes, and that one is very popular. And I think that one still remains true to its original form. Like they're still doing a lot of alternative and independent bands and trying to promote that kind of music. But yeah, essentially, still everyone that goes there is just going there to get messed up and dance wildly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apart from that, I think the whole festival culture is going, more gentrified and mainstream. And fingers crossed, like a lot of things, they go around in circles, and the yuppies will start finding more interesting things to do than festivals, and then all the dirty kids can just get back into their festivals without worrying who's looking down their nose at them. One day, perhaps.
I feel like at least a large part of it has to do with the cost of the tickets. Because, I mean, back in the day, when I was making, I don't know, $6.50 an hour, and a festival, the tickets would have been $40. So that was not too many hours of my time. Like I could afford that with one day of working at the Target. and that would be for the whole weekend. Then you'd have to have some money for like water or something inside the festival, but still, it's now, let's see, I went to a Tool concert a couple of years back, and the tickets were like $200 each.
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's
that
cool,
was
great,
before,
fantastic.
that was
One of the
before
bands
he
I
even
regret
dropped his
never
most recent
seeing
album.
live. Yeah, that's full on, isn't it? Because
Mhm.
I used to love going to live shows. Being a musician myself, it was one of my favorite things to do. And then all of a sudden, it jumped from like $40 a ticket to go and see a band, and all of a sudden you're looking at $80 or $90, and
Mhm.
it's cost prohibitive when you're not making shit ton of money.
Right.
But
And so,
what was the
yeah.
last concert I went to? Last real live band I saw, not including like local pub bands and stuff, was probably, was it Devon Townsend or was it Helmet? I can't remember. It was one of those two. They were both very, very loud. And that might just be me being an old man now. But it would have been Devon Townsend in Brisbane, because I'd rated, when I saw Helmet at a pub in Byron Bay, I rated that as the loudest concert I'd ever been to. It was brutal. It was so loud and so good. And then I went and saw Devon Townsend Project, I think it was at the time, in Brisbane. And then I went, oh, that beats Helmet. That's the loudest thing I've ever been to. And I think that was the last proper show I went to, because just, I don't make a lot of money, so I can't afford to not only spend $100 on a ticket for a concert, but then pay for petrol, the price of petrol nowadays, to drive 2.5 hours to the nearest city to see a band. I was incredibly surprised that a band like Helmet played in Byron Bay, in a pub, not even in an arena or something, in this space in the Great Northern Hotel. Was it the Great Northern? Yeah, it was the Great Northern, and the room maybe fits 700 people if you're lucky, if they're really shoulders to ears sort of thing.
Yeah.
I thought,
Wow.
good on you, Paige Hamilton. Give it to the locals.
It's cool. It's interesting because I think of Helmet as being a band that's been around forever and ever and ever.
Early 90s, They kicked off. 1990, I believe, was their first commercial release.
So, yeah, but then it's interesting because I don't consider the same length of time for like 9 Inch Nails, which started in like 88,
86
89.
maybe. Yeah, they're probably even earlier than that. They were doing like disco pop when Ministry was doing disco pop as well. I don't know if you've ever heard early Ministry stuff. If you know Ministry, Al Jorgensen. Psalm 69 was their big record. But before they got into the industrial metal, they were doing like synth pop and stuff like that. And I think Trent Reznor was hanging out in the same crowds doing the same heroin and doing this disco pop stuff or electro pop before
That's
they
true. He did used to be that skinny once upon a time.
before he buffed up. But
Yeah, I know.
Then they found maybe heroin's popular amongst the disco pop kids too. So I think it was just when they found guitars and guitar pedals and they thought, oh, we can use these same beats, turn the bass up a bit, get some heavy guitar in there, and all of a sudden they developed this genre of music called industrial.
Yes.
I mean, it was probably being done before them, but I'd always find it funny the history of Nine Inch Nails and Ministry, that they were doing this fun stuff before they got into the dark stuff. Maybe it was fun for them before the heroin took control of their lives, and then they got darker and more industrial.
Yeah.
Why do I keep saying heroin?
Glad. I was pretty glad that Trent had cleaned up his act and
he's pretty bulky now.
The gym instead. Yeah.
He found out that his own endorphins are better than the other drugs out there.
Yeah. I'm hoping that he found some therapy. But that might be why some of his albums are not my favorite. It's because he found therapy instead.
You got a bit too, not dark enough, not quite dark enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of darkness on the Downward Spiral, especially, and Pretty Hate Machine as well. Even though a lot of those songs are, upbeat bangers and stuff, there's a lot of dark themes on that record as well.
Yes.
Can I just disappear for like a minute?
Sure.
And I super need to. I was thinking I'm going to close this stream down, and I'll be able to hold this crocodile at bay, but I really need to go and wrestle this crocodile. And
that's fine. We'll look at another tank. That'll be great.
All right, excellent. I love having a backup plan. Excellent. Thank you. I'll be back shortly.
No worries. Let's see. Front camera, back camera. And then we'll just adjust this down. Close this. My super professional setup, you guys. We're dealing with a manually positioned tripod. I don't know how long wrestling a crocodile takes, so I'll just we'll work with what we got. All right. Screw it. I'll use my hands. There we go. Freedom. Oh, of course they're gone now. Oy. My green phantoms were out. Oh, here's one. I like these guys. I've got 5 of them in here. I know it's going to take forever to grow them out. But my plan is to try to breed them. They would be the first non-ancestors pleca that I'd bred. I know it's a little dark, it's hard to see, but that's how they like it.
Wow, it's bloody 3 degrees hotter outside than it was an hour ago.
Here, we'll back up.
Vince coming through with the facts. 9 Inch Nails was 88. I believe you did say 88. And Ministry,
I did.
yeah, 81. Was that when they put out the Land of Milk and Honey? Vince, if you loved him. He's taking a poop. No, just a wee. Just a wee, Huawei. I will never do poos on while I'm in a stream. You might hear too much. You might learn too much.
Right. We don't need to learn everything.
Yeah, there's a classic Ministry song called Over the Shoulder that if you heard it and you didn't know it, you'd have no idea that it was Ministry because it's so 80s synth pop. Vince probably knows it. Who are we looking at? What tank are we looking at?
Oh, this is so this tank has one of my special Endler projects. So these are what I call orange creamsicle Endlers.
Orange creamsicle.
Yeah.
This is a strain you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this guy's a pretty good true to type. He a lot of orange, no black, and some platinum markings, which is it's just fun.
I resemble that
kinda...
remark. No black.
Yeah. I was culling a bit earlier today to pull out some of the ones that were not desirable, but they don't always play too well. So I just kind of do as much as I can. Like this guy, he's a cull.
What's he got? Too much darkness on his body.
Well, he doesn't have the orange full through the fins.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Yep.
And he doesn't have the platinum body, which is
not
what
enough
I want.
white.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's just not white enough for me, you guys. Woo, that's how we get that's how we get demonetized. I don't even know if you're monetized.
No, you're very, very safe on my channel. You could make as many racist slurs as you want on my channel, and the only hit back you'd get would be the dirt from the comments section.
Well, luckily, I make exactly the amount of racist slurs as I want all the time.
7.
That would be none, as far as I can help. If I can help it.
I mean, you can pick on like Australians and Italians and stuff because we're all white. Isn't that acceptable? If Whitey picks on Whitey, that's okay. Don't they let that through?
It depends. Like, I did one time go on a date with a guy, like a first date, and during that first date, he started like exhibiting all of his racisms, and and his specific racisms were about like Jewish people, and he was like, no, it's okay because I am from Israel, so it's okay for me to say these things. And I was like, it's still not okay, actually.
That's like solid behavior to bring that out on the first date too. That's
right.
Like that's a
it's
forward-thinking
like, just
gentleman
clear
right
the
there.
Air. I'm a big old racist. So if you're down with that, then we can hang.
Yeah, I suppose. It might save him time, you know. Let's get this out the way first. There's a few racists out there. She might be one of them. Let's have a go. Let's see.
Right, and I wasn't. I told him I wasn't, and that we weren't gonna date. And then a really handsome guy who may or may not have been Jewish. Chased after me as I was leaving and gave me his number, and I was like, "Oh, it's adorable." I texted him and said thanks, thanks for the compliment. You know,
had he sat there and heard the whole conversation or something?
Yeah,
Or-
because we were in a like a Starbucks, and which is at the time I that's where I would meet people, was at this one particular Starbucks, and yeah, so it was like a safe place for me. It was like a block away from where my friends were hanging out at the bar, and I just was like, nope, gotta go. I'm gonna go and meet my friends at the
Mhm.
bar. And yeah, so it was just
How long ago was that?
that would have been, oh gosh, probably 8 or 9 years ago, maybe.
So that dude's probably happily married, raising his own little racist clan by now, or he's anti-Semitic, I guess.
Yeah, his I don't know, maybe he went back to Israel to go and be racist over there.
Well, I
Or
suppose we
anti-Semitic.
can only hope that he, rectified his behaviours and understood the folly of his way.
Maybe. It's weird. You
Uh,
kind of meet all types when you're dating around on the internet. It's like they
when
sound
you're
fine.
playing the field.
Yeah. They always sound fine when you meet them at first.
Yeah, I had one
You
of
want a plate
those.
full of snow?
I had one of those in my early 20s with a girl, and yeah, she was overtly. It wasn't like a first date kind of thing in a coffee shop. It was like just hanging out, thinking that we were both into each other, sort of thing. And yeah, she was very anti-Asian, anti basically anyone that wasn't white, and was very vocal about it. And yeah, that didn't last very long at all.
Yeah, that's really just really irritating, actually. It's like, bring your best foot forward. But then I guess, if that's the kind of person that you want to be dating, is a big ol' a bigot and a racist, then definitely bring that out on the first date. Might as well.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that sentiment, that if that is, and you're aware that that's a big part of your own life, that's something that you should expose early on in the piece, instead of going on, half a dozen dates before you exhibit your racism, getting someone's hopes up, getting your own hopes up before you realize. So perhaps that dude had learnt from previous experiences that, let's get this out the way early so we find out. He might have wasted like 5 dates on someone in the past trying to get into their pants, and then they've gone, no, you're very racist, I don't like you.
Right.
Expedite the process, like get it out the way first go. Because,
But then the
based
other
on
thing
percentages, he might
it's
find
like
someone every other date that is into the racism and laughs at the anti-Jew jokes.
oh, that's very true. But I think, why go on the date to find that out? Why not just mention it when you meet or when you're chatting online?
Yeah.
Like,
By the way, I hate Jews. Is that going to be a problem?
yeah.
No? Okay. Yes. Sex on the first date. Awesome. Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the way that some people do things, and I don't understand it.
That's the spirit, Huawei. Oh, shit. I have to put that on screen. You'll know I'm not racist if you just look at my Pornhub search history.
Feed draw. Oh, okay. Question: Should you start with existing water that held a female beta, or start with new water for a new male beta? Did the female beta die?
That's an interesting
I feel like there's
concept.
background story.
Does the female beta potentially leave pheromones and stuff in the water, potentially, that a new male might start sniffing and get this whole vitality and zest for life.
It's possible.
Is that do you think, is that the meaning behind the question? Like, if a female's been in the water, what other reason could there be to put a male in a water? Oh no, she got fished out of the tank by cat paw.
Oh,
Another incident of let's not have fish and cats, especially if you're going to have open top tanks.
yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on the cat, really. Like mine doesn't bother the tanks, um, but if you are getting a new fish, I mean, I would just do a regular water change before adding the fish. I always do a bit of a water change before adding a fish, just because your old fish could be used to a different, or could be very used to whatever poisons or whatever are in your water. I'm not saying that your water is poisoned. I'm just using that word for effect.
Stopgap.
But yeah, it's I would I would just do like a water change, like a normal water change that you would normally do before adding the new betta to the tank.
I think it's also advisable if you're a cat owner with open top tanks and stuff, when the cat shows some kind of interest in the tank, you grab the cat by the scruff of the neck and you hold its head under the water of the tank for a little while. Then potentially that might disinterest that cat from the tank. I mean, I know it might be a little bit harsh to pretend to drown a cat, but you know, maybe it'll learn from it. Peter might have different arguments.
I mean, you can always just like use a squirt bottle and squirt the cat with the squirt bottle. That usually works pretty well.
a fairly diplomatic response to the problem that I proffered.
Yes.
But yeah, don't get me wrong, people. I certainly wouldn't hold a cat's head under the tank water, and if it was my cat, if it was someone else's cat, I might, because you know, if their cat's invading my fish tanks, you know, why is it in my fish tanks? You deserve a wet head.
Right. I don't know. I have lids on my tanks. They're glass, which is quite nice.
It's a glass.
Yes. Super glass. So much glass down here.
That's pretty, that tank. All of those orange stripes in there. Oh, and some pink stripes. I miss the pink stripes.
For this guy?
Yeah. What are they called? Ghosts or something? Phantom.
He's one of my Snow Whites.
Snow White. I probably would have got that if I had 9 more guesses.
There we go. Some people call them super whites to make it sound like the super reds, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But they come from the lemon line, the blue-eyed lemon line. So I think it doesn't make sense to call them super whites, because the people will get confused and start thinking that if you breed them with a super red that you're going to get super reds, and that's just not what happens. You get a bunch of brown fish.
Yeah, right. Genetics is a funny game, isn't it?
It's fun. It's also fun to find out, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Vitra, my wife hasn't gone to the pet store in a while because she's sick of fish getting fished out of the tank by cats. Is that why, Vitra? And what are the are they one of your Endler projects in that tank as well with the bristles?
Oh yeah. This one, these guys, I'm calling them blushing tigers. I'm not sure if you can
Blushing
tell
tigers.
on this. Yeah, because they have stripes like your tiger endlers, and then they're pink, so it's like they're blushing.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not sure how well this thing is focusing, but
So I when I was doing guppies about 3.5, maybe 4 years ago, maybe less than that. I'm really uncertain of timelines when I've had a few drinks. And I was getting Endler babies out of my normal guppies. Is that a regular thing to occur? Or is it just because potentially the guppies that I had some Endler genes in them?
it's pretty normal, and the rumor is that endlers and guppies have been crossbred so many times that they're all kind of mutts. And so now if you find a fish that's smaller, people just call it an endler, versus a guppy is usually larger. So a fish that's larger is a guppy, and a fish that's smaller is an endler. Unless you're getting something that's wild caught and you know specifically where it came from.
Yeah.
So oftentimes, like some of the culls that I get out of these tanks they look like your like painted endlers, and I have definitely seen them coming out of guppies as well. But I try not to keep guppies, like the bigger ones. And I'm not entirely sure why at this point. There's no real reason for it. I'm like, nope, not enough tanks.
Yeah, well,
You can only keep so many things.
I think down here we're just super restricted by gene lines and stuff. I think by the time anything gets down to us in Australia, the hereditary lines are already corrupted by whatever they can be corrupted by. So any guppies that you buy, you don't know what they've got in them. So it might take years to nail down a line of breeding or something true, as it were.
Yeah.
And same with cichlids and bristlenose as well. You just never know what they've been bred with.
Yeah, that's very true, because you've got people like me who are crossbreeding bristlenoses with each other to see what happens.
Yeah, I've been there too. I reckon there's thousands of bristlenose around this area that have come from my bristlenose breeding, because I was going back, let's say 10 years, I was prolifically breeding bristlenose and taking hundreds to the pet shop every other week, sort of thing. Multiple tanks breeding hundreds of bristlenose at a time. So yeah, there's a lot of inbred bristlenose in my local area, probably due to me.
Luckily, they found that most of the time the inbreeding of the fish doesn't usually affect them too badly. So I don't know if we're particularly sure why that is, but you can keep a colony going and never add new blood to it, and it's usually fine. Even though I hear of people constantly wanting to add new blood to a breeding colony of something, but most of the time it's not necessary.
Yeah, I think that generally if you get genetically munted ones that come out they generally die off pretty quick, and then you're basically dealing with a healthy population of breeders anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, and yeah, you just got to keep on top of the culling. Like if you got a bunch with bent spines and stuff,
Yeah.
well, you might have fish TV in your tank for one, but for another, it might be a sign of fish that need to not be around anymore.
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, it's part of the hobby, isn't it? That sometimes you have to mercy kill.
Yep, and it sucks, but my garden sure likes it. I just have to not mention it out loud. Yeah.
Vitra says, "Can I use Kinetic Sand in the tank?" I'm sorry, Vitra, but I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
So that stuff, it is. I used to know what the exact term for it was, but when you put it in water and actually like let it soak up the water, it loses its pliability and turns into sand again. But what it is that it each of the grains of sand has a layer of air around it. It's like it's got a hydrophobic layer, but it's not hydrophobic. So anyways, so when you mold it around, it just kind of retains the shape, and it seems really cool, but it's not going to do what you think in an aquarium. And I don't know if it has a coating on it. So yeah, so I think the correct answer that I can give is I don't know. Feel free to put it in a box of water and see what happens. Mush it around in there and see how you like it. And then if you've got some fish that you don't like, you can stick it in there with it and see what happens to those fish. But I've never done it. So I've actually never had any kinetic sand.
Oh, is it kinetic as in kinetic energy?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the ions or something or another. I don't remember.
Yeah, right. You can mold it and it holds the shape, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds a bit too sciencey for a fish tank. Who wants science in a fish tank?
Oh, my friend out in the UK, freshwater ichthyology on YouTube, she does. That's for sure. She's going for her
very
PhD.
sciencey, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is. She's going for her PhD in it, and yeah.
Damn, I haven't seen one of her videos. Has she been still putting out content?
Yes, she is.
I'm not had any notifications from her. I might have to check that YouTube hasn't unsubbed me. I liked her
sometimes, yeah, she's really smart.
She's got a lovely voice for explaining all that sciencey stuff.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she's so young.
And that accent. Yeah. Oh, thank you for saying that as well.
Yeah.
I'll try not to have lurid thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think she's engaged, but
phew, lucky.
Yeah. Not that stops people's thoughts. Oh, good.
What on earth was that noise?
What? Oh, I set
no,
something down
not from
and
you.
Good.
Not from
good.
Somewhere. I don't know whether it was a possum stirring in my roof or something outside, but there was a large noise outside.
Oh.
You should. Oh, is he in there or on the outside?
Oh, he's on the outside. I found the only way to heat up these brine shrimp is to put them in the tank.
That's pretty sensible, you know.
Yeah. I figured that out like 2 days ago, and I've been getting really good hatch rates now, which is good. And it's giving this guy somewhere to hide.
And all the other fish are just drooling. Oh, that's what that noise was. Hang on, can I check? Yeah, fuck, where were you 4 hours ago, mate? Lawnmower man's turned up. I expected him here this morning. I need him to chop down a couple of trees with his long chainsaw.
Ooh, a long chainsaw.
Yeah, like a chainsaw on a stick, I call it. I've got one, but it died, or the charger died for it, so I can't use it anymore. So every time he's here, I try and think of what trees I can get him to prune. And I've got a bloody, what's it called? I only said it like an hour ago to Sarah. Bloody blah blah. It starts with P, and it's an annoying piece of shit tree. My mum's allergic when the when it starts to flower, or it sends her sneezing. Privet, a privet tree. Privets, they're terrible. Get rid of them. I believe they're related to pepper, the pepper that we get our peppercorns from. I think they're in the same family.
Oh, that is interesting. I've never heard of a privet tree.
They probably go under some other name. You know, our common names are different. You can walk 3 streets to the east and they'll have a different common name.
Well, that's probably true, but also your common trees are going to be different from our common trees.
Yeah, probably very much so, but I'm fairly certain that privet's it's a foreign tree from Europe or somewhere that does not belong in our climate because it does too well here, just like the camphor laurel trees. The camphor laurel trees, I think, originated in Asia, and they might have got to, pardon me, 6 or 7 meters as a rule. You put them in Australia, 40-foot tree, easy.
That is a big tree.
Oh, they thrive. And it's the funniest thing about people that move to this area and they go, oh, it's so lovely and green. And most of our greenery comes from these bloody camphor laurel weed trees that are just destroying our creeks and rivers.
That's not good, though. That is not good at all.
They're very terrible trees, and there's just billions of them, bajillions even. Because they've got it's an interesting fact actually that koalas are known to only eat eucalyptus leaves, and local koalas around here have been seen to be eating camphor laurel leaves and macadamia leaves. And there's speculation that they do that because there's a particular ingredient in both of those trees that might get them a little bit buzzed. And that
koalas, the junkies of the Australian.
Yeah, they're just looking for somewhere to go and get a little bit lit up and lie down for a few hours. Because that's what eucalypts do as well. Eucalypts apparently, because of the fermentation process that their stomach needs to go through to process eucalyptus leaves, they get a little bit drunk off the eucalyptus leaves. So you're looking at, everyone sees these lovely, adorable pictures of koalas having a snooze in a tree nook or something, and they're just drunk out of their minds, people. They're not just tired, they're drunk. And now they've found that they're eating these other plants because they get a different kind of drunk.
Oh.
They're
expanding into different drugs.
They're branching out into different kinds of high.
Do they all still have chlamydia too?
Lots of them do. They've actually been they've been upgraded to endangered after the massive bushfires a year and a half ago. Koalas, yes, are now endangered, and yeah, not only the chlamydia taking over, but now there's habitat destruction, and there's still like, what did I read on the internet the other day? 14,000 hectares or something of koala habitat has been declared available for clearing by the Australian government. It's like, fuck, you know, maybe repeal that decision for a little while.
Yeah. Like, think about it for a bit, you know. Do we need to clear that area?
Yeah. Just let's plant some more sorghum or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't think they understand that if all the koalas die out, we're never going to get another tourist again.
Well, you still got the kangaroos.
Yeah, no one likes them though, because there's too many stories about how if you mistreat a kangaroo, it'll disembowel you. It's going to punch your lights out. Unless you get the little tiny, you know, quokkas of Rottnest Island, Western Australia. They're the safest kangaroos because they're used to humans. They'll let you pat them, they'll let you feed them, and they're only tiny, maybe 18 inches tall, 2 foot at best. They're not going to murder you with their back legs, but a big red kangaroo or grey kangaroo is going to have a crack at you if you don't give it the right biscuits.
Oh, jeez.
Gimpy plant. What's a gimpy plant?
I think
I know the town of Gympie. I know it very well because I lost my virginity in that town many years ago. But I've never heard of a gimpy plant. I might have to. Still got you on full screen, so I can go and go. Oh, I can't even see my keyboard. Hang on. Function space turns on the lights. Yes, I remembered some information. I remembered how to turn on my keyboard lights. Gimpy plant. Oh, it's even specialized.
I think that's
Australia. It's not the suicide plant, is it? Oh no, flowers. Wow, come on. I'm getting a lot of ads how I can get flowers delivered to Gympie.
Huh.
She doesn't.
The thing, it heard you say that she lost her virginity there. And now it's like, oh, would you like to send flowers to that one person?
Yeah, I've actually heard that referred more often as the suicide plant. Who was talking about it? Huawei. G'day, ugly. How you going, mate?
Is that the one where you stand under it in the rain and you'll get burned all to heck?
No, it's got like a lot of little spines along the leaves and the stems, and every single bit of the plant has these little spines. And if you get the spines in you, you basically want to kill yourself because of how much pain you endure whilst being spiked with this plant.
Oh gosh. Well, that sounds not fun at all.
Not fun at all. Ah, dang. Scungy just sent me a message asking if she left her cigarettes behind, and she sure did. Yeah, there's
Does she live a long drive from you?
Like half an hour.
Not terrible.
Yeah, not terrible,
but not like a quick walk.
Yeah, well, half of the, well, not half of the drive, but some of the drive is like really bumpy dirt roads and stuff as well. So,
so it's unpleasant.
unpleasant, and you get concerns about your car's health if it's constantly driving through corrugated dirt roads and stuff. So,
Yep, for sure. I don't
Mickham,
think my car would handle it very well.
I would come to see some blackies climbing trees as well as koalas. Wow, I haven't climbed a tree for a little while. I don't know if I've got it in me anymore, Mickham. I'm a very old man now, you know. And if I didn't read Mickham's comment, I wouldn't have noticed Huawei saying, koalas are the Blackie of the animal kingdom. They're always intoxicated, they're endangered, and they might have chlamydia. I had my regular chlamydia test last week. Huawei, I'm clean.
I'm glad.
That's the best thing, though. The best thing about being monogamous with a person is that you don't have to worry about that sort of shit unless they're being naughty.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I don't know. There's a large amount of polyamorous and open people in relationships here in my area, and I don't know. I tried that for a couple of years, and it's just not for me. I don't like that.
It's too difficult to
wanna come
maintain.
home. Yeah.
I mean, I find it hard enough to think about more people than just myself at once, let alone trying to weigh up where all of my relationships are with everyone. Jesus, just let me love one person, because if I love 3 or 4 people, I'm just going to go loopy.
You have to set up calendars in order to keep track of who gets your time when.
Yeah, let's book romance in. That makes it so much more romantic when you have to schedule it. Yeah,
like I used to be friends with a girl who was in a throuple. I think is what they would call it.
A throuple.
A throuple, so not a couple, but a throuple. And so it was her and her her husband and her boyfriend, and they all lived together in the same house, which, okay, that's fine. And they would have to schedule, like, well, I can't do anything on Saturday because that's Robert's day, and for me and him to hang out, and I can't do anything on Friday because that's Charles's day for me and him to hang out. And I was like, okay, so you can never hang out with friends ever.
Yeah,
because Friday and Saturday is when people want to hang out.
And that scheduling aspect totally symbolizes love, doesn't it, as well?
Oh, so much. Like there's no, oh my gosh.
There's no spontaneity. Yeah. I think that's about the 3rd or 4th time we've jinxed each other with words.
Maybe. I haven't been keeping track.
These people enter into these polyamorous relationships for spontaneity and wildness and stuff and freedom, and then all of a sudden every one of the people involved has to keep a rigid diary, knowing
it's
exactly.
It's like having 3 jobs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about, when I used to be a what do you call them, philanderers, fooling around with more than one woman at a time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's too time consuming. It's too draining on the mind to have to focus on how to love each one separately. Just focus on one. It's so much easier, unless there's no love there. But a lot of these polyamorous relationships are trying to tout that, you know, we're all in love, it's all so wonderful, then, you know, be a
Right.
little bit more flexible on your schedules, you fucking idiots.
Right. And if it was like a throuple where like the guys were together too, it would make more sense to me.
Say that
'Cause
again,
then it would
sorry.
just be like if it was like a girl and two guys, and then the guys were also together, so it was like a couple of bisexual guys and then a girl, and a girl who was those two guys, and they were just all together. That would make a little bit more sense to me, because then they would go on their romantic outings just all together, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just these two guys that are tolerating
Taking
each
their
other or
turns.
something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
if they're
I
just
don't know.
waiting for their turn, they're not going to have a happy picnic out in the park as all three together.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and it's like it's great if that is working for you. That's so much stress that I don't need in my life. And it takes enough work to keep one guy happy. I don't need to be working on two.
Yeah. I guess some people are just workaholics, aren't they?
Oh my God.
No downtime. I need to be constantly thinking about how to love.
Right? Just taking notes. When you're with somebody, like, okay, this person likes these things. Don't get them confused with the other guy, because that guy
Yeah.
doesn't like those things.
How much I wonder now, I'm wondering, I should say, how much more contrived people's behaviors are in those kind of relationships, because they're not just trying to please one person, they're trying to please multiple people. How much
Right.
more fake they must become trying to make it work, just so they can say to the Twitter or the Instagrams that I'm in a polygamous relationship. They've just got to put in so much work to make it sound actual. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, and just as a random perspective, the year or so that I tried it was with this guy who was with other people as well. And there was just one day where I was at my apartment and I was sick. I couldn't leave the apartment because I had to be within running distance to the bathroom, that kind of sick. And all I could think was, what I need is some ginger ale and some Pepto-Bismol, but I can't go and get it. The store is literally half a block from my apartment, but I can't make it there. And at this point, I've been in the bathroom for so long that I can barely move. And and all I could do was I called him. I called the guy out of desperation. I was like, I know you live nearby and I know you're off work today. Can I get you to do me a favor and get me some Pepto-Bismol and some ginger ale? Because I think I'm going to die. If I don't get those things. And he was like, well, I'm out with so-and-so right now. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And it's like when you need somebody, but they're busy keeping somebody else happy, I don't know. It's like you need someone just to go and get a couple of things for you and bring them over and then leave. That's all I wanted. But no. Because he was busy with something else and with someone else. And
I was going to say, is that something in inverted commas?
Yeah, it was just
quotes.
Someone else. And yeah. And that was just one of those things where I was like, I need somebody that I can, rely on, and who I can be like, I'm there for you, you're there for me. There you go. Could be each other's number one, and that's what I have with Justin. So it works out. Also, we don't have kids, so we don't have to put like our kids ahead of each other or anything like that. So.
Yeah, well, thankfully, 60% of my kids are adults now, and 40% of them are 2,500 kilometers away. So
That's a long ways.
yeah, it's okay.
Do you miss them though?
Do I miss them?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get, thanks to the internet and stuff, I get plenty of updates and chats and stuff like that. Pictures of when they're being silly and stuff. That's as pretty much as good as I can expect from that. But my
Well, that's good.
my adult children live like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 doors down the street. So
It's so far away. I don't know how you can stand it.
Yeah, it was funny when I had to change my address on my driver's license. I only had to change the numbers. Didn't even have to change the street name.
Is
But
that
it's great having, like I love my kids so much that it's awesome that we're just that close that we can just visit with one another whenever we want.
that's super cool, actually. I think that's awesome. You must have had kids. Wait, hold on. They're adults. If I'd have had kids when I was 20, those kids would be 20, and they would have been full-grown adults.
I think I was 23 when I had my first kid. In 1990, oh shit, here we go. 1998, my first kid was born. And then 2000, and then 2003, and then 2012. But the 2012 were twins with a different mum to my first kids. Mickham thought Blacky was counting his kids. 5, 6, 7. I think I'll stop at 5. Mickham. I might even go and get my tubes tied, or whatever they call it. What do they call it for blokes? The snip.
A vasectomy?
A vasectomy.
Or if you like, the old snippity snip. That's what I call it.
The snippity snip. Yeah.
It's the only way to be sure.
I'm just not 100% certain about elective surgery while there's still so much COVID about. Maybe my balls will get COVID and they'll forever be a burden to myself.
Well,
but yeah, I certainly don't plan on having any more kids, so I'll just have to rely on the hospital system. I think me as the person that I am, injecting 5 kids into this world is plenty from my nether regions. Thanks.
it also means that you're far from endangered.
Absolutely. and from what I have massive involvement with my older 3 boys, and from the limited involvement that I have with my younger 2 twins, they certainly, my lineage is not endangered. They certainly all have massive aspects of me in them, which I see every day in the older boys and stuff.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm not an endangered species anymore.
So very unlike the koalas.
Yeah,
But yeah. Uh,
especially with respect to chlamydia. Never had it, never will. I hope. I'm
Yeah.
not. No, I never will. I promise, I never will.
yeah, try not to.
Yeah, I'll just promise not to have relations with any 20-year-olds because apparently all 20-year-olds have got it.
Also, the seniors in the nursing homes
Ah,
all have it.
yes. I did hear that as well. It's running rampant through nursing homes.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, I don't know, our plumbing doesn't work that way anymore, so we don't need to use any protection. But yeah.
Good on them for cutting loose. Why not?
Yeah.
A little
Only
bit
got
of
so
excitement.
many years.
Yeah. What's an extra little bit of itch with their problems?
Right. They probably don't even notice. They got so much things that itch anyway.
I'm sure chlamydia does worse than just itching, but you know,
Yeah,
it
probably.
still rates as a very minimal problem for someone in an aged care home that's, you know, got osteoporosis and maybe Parkinson's and maybe a little bit of dementia. Yeah, what's an itchy vagina going to worry you too much? No, not at all. Is that even a symptom of chlamydia? Do you get itchy? Who knows? Never had it. Don't know. Let's get personal with the chat. Who's had STD? I don't think I've ever had an STD. I've never been diagnosed with one.
I had gonorrhea once.
What does that do?
It was in my throat. And it gave
Gonorrhea
me,
in the throat.
yeah.
That should be a t-shirt. I've got gonorrhea in the throat. Someone write that
Yeah.
down as a possible shirt.
It gave me like the most horrible strep throat feeling ever on the planet. And I could barely swallow, and I had to have antibiotics. Yep. And I had to talk to the doctor, and my mom was there.
Yeah, just say how you got it in
Right.
front of your mum.
Yeah, pretty much. I was 20, so it wasn't like
I'm not a kid anymore, mum.
Yeah,
I
but
can
it was
make
still
my own
really
decisions.
embarrassing. Yeah. It was just like I can't swallow or talk.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you take care of stuff. It was yeah.
Sorry, that was a hard one to resist. Oh, damn it.
It was
now
a
I just
hard
said
one to
one.
swallow.
Ah, shit. Now we're both doing it.
That happened at one of those rock festivals, you know.
Yeah, right. Heard me a awesome Creed set and picked me up some gonorrhea. What's mono? Huawei? What is mono? I don't even know.
Mononucleosis?
I know the name mononucleosis, but I'm not 100% certain what it does to the human body. Is that the one that fucks your legs up? Like you can't walk properly and stuff?
No. So mono is known as the kissing disease.
Oh, right. What do we call that down here?
Oh, I don't know.
Crikey, that's going to do my head in until I remember it. Yeah,
But
the
it
kissing
lingers
disease
on.
and keeps coming back at you.
it just kind of lingers on, and you get just, it's like having a really horrible flu. Um, Most people, they have bed rest for like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, and they get over it. But other people have, I think they call it like walking mono or something, where they just kind of keep having it and they keep going about their life, even though they kind of feel crappy, but they just keep going.
And do they keep spreading
spread
it?
it around? Yeah, they just
Yeah,
keep
right.
spreading it
Yeah.
around. Because you can
Continue
just like share a drink with someone and then get it that way. Yeah, so it's pretty bad. I've never had that, but yeah, it's pretty awful. Like I had friends who got it and were pretty much, they just disappeared off the face of the earth for like a month.
Hey,
You just
Huawei,
didn't hear from them.
Huawei, Google up what kissing disease is called down here, because I can't. It's not glandular fever. There's another name for it, I'm sure. But I have to go and wrestle another crocodile. They're getting boisterous, and I'll be right back. Come on, GRB, you should know what mono is called down here. Everyone used to speak about it in high school. Anyway, I'll be back in a sec.
Oh wow, what happened? Now we can see Blacky's door and my fish tanks, but no people on the screen. What happened? I don't know. This is a fake Australian accent. Oh, okay. Just making sure. As long as everyone's okay. Glandular fever. Glandular fever. Interesting. But yeah, Vitra Mono gives you chronic fatigue. That is a much better way to say what I was trying to say. Thank you for that.
I think I did. I did say glandular fever, didn't I? But I didn't think that was right.
At least that's what other people were saying. Let's see.
I remember at what was it? My 10-year high school reunion, and what's that other one that they reckon spread by drinks? Meningococcal something or other. Meningitis. Yeah. And I there was this dude in my year at school that was about 1.5 feet taller than me and about 2 feet wider than me. He was a massive unit of a man, and I was absolutely super poor and broke at this high school reunion. And after the reunion dinner, we went out to this nightclub in Byron Bay, and I was doing that super fun thing that all broke people do, where they walk around a nightclub taking drinks out of every drink that they can get access to.
Yes.
And yeah, I went to this dude's table and went to pick up his drink, and he grabbed me by the wrist and then by the shoulder. Much bigger man than me, as big a man as what I am. I was still quite frightened of this guy because he was considerably larger and much more muscular than me, and would not have it that I was even touching his glass for the fear, because there was a meningococcal scare going around, or a meningitis scare going around at the time. And that's how, if you do this to me, we're all going to get it. And yeah, I've actually feared for my life. So I didn't steal his drink. I moved to the next table and stole drinks from there instead.
Did you
That's a
get
great
meningitis?
story. That's a real insight into my past, ladies and gentlemen, and others. I didn't get no meningitis. No, never had it
That's
at
good.
all.
That is very good. I think meningitis kills people pretty quick. So
Yeah. Like the Ween song says, spinal meningitis got me down.
yeah, for sure. No, Vince, I saw that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not gonna.
Yeah. You don't. Let's get some real interesting targeted ads at medications.
Right. I'm a little
Thankfully, they
disappointed
don't
that
do
we.
that. Don't you?
Right. I'm a little disappointed that we don't get ads for like plecos that I look up. Like there should be ads for that popping up. I'm looking at that all the time, but most of the time what we get is the
Utes, trucks, whatever,
we get.
cars.
Well, no, we don't even really get car commercials. We get Progressive insurance commercials a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, which is it's irritating. I don't know. Like I don't.
I bought some Halo lights the other day. Have you seen ads for Halo light on Instagram
No.
or anything? They're pretty nifty looking things, but like I bought some Halo lights, people. Why do you keep advertising at me now? You've got me already. Yet
Well, you need
still,
more.
every day, Instagram is pounding me with these Halo lights ads. I bought some already, people. That happens so often, though. It happened. What else did it happen with? I bought some intercom buzzer type things so that my parents can bell me from inside, and because often I have the door shut, or I might have headphones on or something. But the intercom bells will light up and make a noise, and I hear it through my headphones. But I still get like 7 ads a day for these things, and I bought those things 6 months ago. It's like, why don't they factor that into their advertising, that this person has already made a purchase and they're highly unlikely to buy just yet? You know, put a 6-month deferral on your advertising at me, and I might have another go in 6 months. But if you keep advertising at me straight after I've bought the product, I'm going to get pissed off at your company. I'm not going to be likely to return purchase.
True. I mean, what they should do is they should stick to that kind of advertising for consumables. Like,
explain, elucidate.
Like, okay, like pretty much everything in the US is tracked. So you have like a member club card or whatever to get the deals or whatever at every store that you go to. And so they know if I'm buying steak, for instance, or ice cream or whatever the heck. So if I go, or one that we're buying a lot lately is protein powder. So if I go and I buy Premier protein powder and I bring it home to eat it over the course of however long, it would make sense to have commercials for that product again to remind you, oh, right, do I have enough? You know, or like if you go to have your ice cream or whatever, surely you're going to finish that ice cream and then need more ice cream, right? Or they're going to remind you that you have ice cream and then you'll eat it and then you'll want more. Or whatever soda, if you like soda. So if they're going to target advertising, they should target consumables.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Stuff that you buy once and then don't have to buy again for a whole year.
Yeah.
Or 10 years if it's a car.
I mean, I bought 3 halo lights. It's not like I'm going to need many more in the next few
Right.
months. But like,
How many
leave me
halos
alone.
are you gonna get?
I can only use one at a time, really. I wonder would that work, actually. Yeah, battery pack. I could do that. But yeah, I haven't even plugged any in yet, considering, I mean, let's be fair. At least one of them is supposed to be... I hope Scungy's not watching.
Okay, I'll keep a secret.
At least one of them is supposed to be a birthday present for her. I'll probably give her 2, but because I'm like a super generous kind of dude. And then just keep one for myself.
It'll probably help light up her art table area and stuff too. But
Well, I
I
was
just
kind of really hoping that she used it for some of her indoor plants, but if she
Oh.
chooses to use it for art illumination, I will not be cranky.
yes. Maybe it'll be art illumination and then also her plants. I don't know. Is it a full spectrum light?
I don't know. That's too sciencey for me.
Oh,
I know. My name is misleading. I do have a doctor in front of my name, but that's a little bit too sciencey for me. You know, their ads show amazing growth of plants and stuff lit by them, so they must be, right? Advertising
so.
doesn't lie.
No, never. Never. It's
They look
100%
cool.
true all the time.
Yeah, ugly man. Me and Alyssa are hanging out in our communal dungeon. After this stream finishes, we go live on OnlyFans, where we get some gimps in and we beat them senseless on OnlyFans for money.
Yes. Yes. When I finally get to break out the old balls and chains.
The old balls and chains. I got the balls covered.
Sweet. I got
Actually,
a flogger and a couple of riding crops.
Ooh, this stream just got a lot more interesting.
Yep. I'm gonna have some apple.
Actually, to be fair, I do have a riding crop as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not a proper one though, like a porno one.
Right.
Like I've
Right.
never ridden. I mean, I have ridden a horse in my life, but it's not like I've got riding crops and saddles and bridles and stuff laying around.
I've never used one on a horse.
That's a shirt. A picture of a riding crop and then just the text saying, "I've never used one on a horse." I like it. Someone make that shirt now so I don't have to. But send
I'm
me
just dropping shirts
some of
over
the
here.
profits and Alyssa some of the profits, please. It's got to
Yes.
be done. That's a seller.
Some of us are
That's for
broke
sure
over
a
here.
seller.
Oh no.
Yeah, some of us look like we're sitting in dungeons, for fuck's sake.
Right. At least I have
Paint?
a wall.
What's that?
Paint is overrated. we could look at my electrical outlet.
Oh. I wasn't impressed at all until it moved in the air.
Mhm. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's just because we're midway through
Yeah,
renovating
sure
the
it is.
basement.
I know.
Got a brand new
I know an
door.
excuse when I smell one. A brand new door. Bonus.
Yeah. It opens and closes without me having to slam my whole body into it to make it shut. No,
That's always handy.
Joel's been over here. I've been paying him and a friend of his to fix up some of my house. So
Oh, so you're the reason he's so cranky these days.
Yeah, it's me. It's all me. I don't know. I pay okay, I think.
Super feel for that dude. He's going through so much, and it's just weighing him down so much.
Yeah, I know.
He just doesn't seem to have that ability just to go, fuck it, and just rest for a day or two. It's just going to keep stewing in his mind and spinning him out.
Yeah.
When I had him on earlier, there was no words I could say that could placate him, because everything I said just seemed to make him just go, more and more. So I just had to try and shut my mouth and let him get it out, and then just say goodbye.
Yeah, and because I mean, it's both him and Vicky are frustrated about the whole situation, and
No doubt.
and it's just, and they've got this kid, and he, like, they had this whole idea, they just wanted to go because she can work from home, he can't, he has to work somewhere with his hands, because you can't be like, okay, now tighten the screws.
Yeah.
um, so the whole thought was that they were going to move up way closer to his work, because right now I think he's in traffic 5 hours a day, and that just drags
petrol.
on a guy. And he's got a little kid, and she's freaking adorable, and yeah, you just want to try to spend some time, but like 5 hours a day is being ripped away from him every single day, and it's like, ugh. Good
Man,
Lord.
I lived in my, let's call it the highest paying job I was ever in.
Mhm.
I lived like 6 minutes. Let's call it, I lived an 8-minute walk from that job, but I still drove there, and it took me 3 or 4 minutes, and I still felt that was too much of a commute. I think I'll only ever be able to flourish if I live at my work, which then most people that do that end up, killing themselves after 2 years anyway. So it's probably not a good idea, but fuck, I hate commuting.
It's pretty awful. I for a while was driving essentially the same amount that Joel drives now, and it wrecked my health. Like, I didn't have time to cook, I didn't have time to take care of myself. I gained a whole bunch of weight because if you're not cooking, you got to pick up food somewhere else, and on the road there's not really healthy food, and and it's
G'day, Larry.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. I ended up moving slightly closer to work, but I still couldn't find anything really close. I don't know. For a while, I had a good sweet spot where it was only half an hour away. And man, I miss that. I would get up in the morning and I would go to the gym, and I would come home and fix a healthy breakfast and lunch, and I would go to work and do all my work, and then I would go to dance class afterwards, and it was a good time.
Even with a 30-minute commute.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. G'day, Sharpie. Yeah, I had a job when I lived in Brisbane that was a 30-minute commute, and you had to drive through the city. See you, ugly. Take care, man. 30-minute commute. I was on the north side of the city. My job was on the south side of the city in Brisbane, and driving through that, well, often my ex would be with me as well, because she'd need the car through the day. So it was, probably worse for her because it was 4 times the journey. I was only doing it twice. But yeah, wow, half an hour commute. It did my head in. It did my head in so bad that one day I nearly got into a fight with a policeman in overalls and a van, basically because I did not necessarily believe that he was a real policeman, but I was speeding through city traffic, and this rando in a van in blue overalls came up beside me, and he's got his arm out the window going, pull over, pull over. So I pulled over in a side street, and he turns out to be a SWAT, the equivalent of a SWAT officer on his way to work. And he didn't have any books in his van to write me a ticket for speeding, but he just felt that because I was speeding, he needed to pull me over and start a fierce argument. And because I hate commuting to work, I was in a very fiery mood, and I was very, very willing to fight this man with a firearm on his belt. And he never wrote me a ticket in the end. Our argument seemed to have been settled with words somehow.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that things got settled with words.
Me
somehow.
too, because I probably would have ripped his throat out with my teeth. I was that cranky that day. I can still remember the rage that I was feeling that day. I hated it. I don't think I've ever felt rage that severe since then. Just because I was trying to force my way through this ridiculous city traffic on a time limit, and then this fucking idiot in overalls, nonetheless, not even in a uniform. Oh, well, I suppose it's a uniform of sort for the pedants out there. I probably would have went to jail if that situation had ended up the way I saw it in my mind. But thankfully he was, he was just one of those little men that was going, I have authority, you must listen to me. And then when I got out of the car and stood over him, by a good 6 or 7 inches and going, fuck off, dude, or words to that effect. And his biggest defense was, you're lucky I don't have a ticket pad in my car. Is that what I'm lucky for? I'm probably lucky that you're not 6 foot tall and brawny and ready to punch on, because I would have punched on at 8:30 in the morning. No, it would have been earlier than that. 8 o'clock, 7:45 in the morning. I was ready to go. I probably had a lot of drinks the night before or something.
Yeah, that's one thing about, at the moment, I'm not working. I do not miss the commute.
Commuting sucks. It's the worst. That is the absolute best thing that's come out of COVID, is the ability that people can now work from home, even though they could before. But now it's become really apparent that a lot of people can do their simple jobs from home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, like Justin is still working from home, and I don't know, I feel like we have a pretty good thing going on. I make him his tea and bring him his breakfast in the morning, and let him do what he wants for lunch, and it's pretty nice.
You should inquire as to whether he gets a PA budget that he can maybe sling you some dollars.
He doesn't have that position within the company, so yeah, it's not. No, he does sling me some dollars though. Anyway, it's just not covered by the company. It just helps me be able to do the shopping for us so that we don't have to do it on the weekend.
Maybe you should just encourage him to ask the powers that be. Look, I've got this lady and she brings me tea and crumpets at 10 and occasionally makes me a sandwich. Can I put her on staff? You don't get if you don't ask.
That's true.
You might get, $70 a week. A little bit of pocket money to play with. Yeah. Yeah, it's worth a thought, isn't it? Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
little chin scratcher right there. I think I would probably get more donating plasma. But then it'd be my fluids, my precious fluids, going away.
All right, what else can we tell people? Unless we've got some
Um,
fantastic stories to tell, shall we finish this? I said I wasn't going to do another 5.5 hours live stream, and here we are, 3.5 hours in.
Oh my god. What time is it? It's already 10:30 here. Holy crap.
10:30.
Well, yeah.
One of the last things I said to Sarah when I farewelled her in her car was I said, I'm going to go back in and we'll probably end it because I don't want to do another stream like last week. And then I said to her, now I've jinxed myself because every time I say I don't want to do a long stream, I do a long stream. I have to never say that again. Seriously. I'm just setting myself up for failure. And that 5.5 hours last week, and it lost me like 20 subscribers.
Oh my gosh.
And to those 20 people who left, whether you were removed by YouTube or not,
Yeah.
I don't really care, but I really like an opportunity to put my middle finger on screen any time of week.
Right. We call that welcome to the sit and spin.
Welcome to the sit and spin. I call it welcome to get fucked. Possibly because I have deeper ties with foul language than you do. It's often sensible, I guess, to avoid the naughty words, isn't it?
I guess I've just spent so much time learning how to speak around the naughty words that it just sort of comes as second nature.
Yeah. I don't even bother anymore. I just use all the foul words. Even I know my dad hates it. He's like raised.
Well, he can't hear you anyway.
No, not now. But like when I'm in conversation with him, when I'm really pissed off, I let them fly because I know they have effect. I know he resents them. I know he hates it when I say fuck or shit or any of that stuff because he's such a Puritan.
I thought America got all the Puritans.
No, there's still some left down here. Just a few. They're most of them are nearly dead though. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't mean that the way it sounded. Sorry, everyone. I don't wish my dad dead. I wish him to have the longest life he can, but as long as he can not annoy me so much.
Vince says, this has been the cleanest language stream in 3 years. Sorry, man. Sorry to disappoint you guys.
Yeah,
I know it's infectious.
I don't think you don't swear, do you? I haven't heard you swear once.
Oh, it's just kind of a habit. I do, or I used to, or sometimes I do. It's not like I don't swear out of some sort of moral compunction. I used to run a house cleaning business, and I got so used to couching my words and not swearing at people because, you don't want to lose customers.
Yeah, it's become non-functional language for you.
Mm-hmm. So if you're out there going, these fucking plecos are out there fucking each other in the fucking tank, god damn it. It's like, I mean, I guess. I mean,
yeah, right. You made your point. You could have made the same point with less words. That didn't make me go, ooh.
Right, exactly. And here's, I'm watching one of these trying to knock on the door of the mail, and I don't even know if it's going to work this time. Freaking get bread. Anyway.
You're talking fish.
Yeah, sorry. I'm in basement
I had no idea
with
what
all
you
the
meant.
fish.
Yeah, like Sharpie says, it's just Australian, I guess, for most of us, except for the pretenders who are pretending not to be Australian, who talk all proper and stuff. They don't swear. I talk plenty proper until I've had a few drinks, and then I just revert to what I grew up with, which is just toilet rubbish
Toilet
and
talk.
nonsense. Huawei says this is the weirdest Christian Minecraft stream I've seen.
Christian Minecraft stream. Oh man,
That
I'm
could
not
be a
even
shirt.
playing
as well.
Minecraft right now.
That whole comment could just be a shirt on its own.
It should.
Oh, it'd be a conversation starter.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I
call
keep
it
having
quits
to
then, shall
charge
we?
my things. Yeah, let's go. I gotta go home. Well, I mean, I gotta go upstairs, go to bed.
Upstairs, yeah. Home
Yeah.
is so different to the dungeon. It's
Yeah,
a
I
different
know.
environment, even though it's only 15 feet away.
Yeah, it's up there.
Hey, look, I really appreciate you coming up today.
Hey, you're
Giving me
welcome.
a bit of ballast. I'm going to make a point of inviting you up on a more regular basis,
Thank you.
even when Joel's here, because potentially you're the most experienced human at dealing with Joel. So, you know, if he's gonna continue to be depressed for the next few weeks, I might really need your assistance.
I mean, I don't know if I can reel
Yeah, I
him
know
out of,
exactly
but
what you're thinking.
nah, there's only so much I can do with like cupcakes.
There's only so much icing you can put on before they're just sugar and some flour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was great. It was awesome having you here. I don't know if we've even had an entire conversation before today, even though I said that when I introduced you to Scungy face to face, have we been face to face before?
No.
This was our first. We broke our cherry today. Awesome.
Yeah. I don't even know if you've seen me on Joel's stream or anything like that.
Yeah, I've definitely been in Joel's streams before when you've been there. Not in this last iteration, because when yous guys do that stream, it's like just as I'm getting out of bed and making breakfast for my folks and stuff. And so yeah, I generally miss
It's
those
awfully
ones.
early, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was good. It was very good. Very, very good to finally have a conversation with you. Well, multiple conversations with you on multiple topics.
It was just like going to the bar and just sitting around and having conversations all night long, which is something that I haven't done since the dang pandemic, and I miss.
I think basically, ladies and gentlemen, what Alyssa just said is I epitomize all of the drunk guys in all of the bars that she's ever been to. I feel all of those dudes' personality types. Mate, I probably do. Fuck, I don't know. I won't deny it.
Only if you're a little bit gay too.
A little bit. Oh. Do you rate that in percentages?
Sure. I mean, here it's a spectrum, so that's how everybody calls it. Talks about it now.
I mean, someone was mentioning trannies in their Pornhub searches before, and they're definitely in mine. There's definitely a little bit of gay in me. I consider myself pansexual.
That works.
I think if the whole world was pansexual, there'd be no war. There'd be no nothing. We'd all be all right. Just fall in love with whoever you fall in love with, no matter what they got between their legs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And others. I keep forgetting to put others on the end.
Everyone or all y'all.
All y'all. Yeah, it kind of doesn't work with my accent. It works when I type it, but yeah, I can't say it properly, so I try and avoid that one. But yeah, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anyone's got between their legs. If you love someone, you love them, full stop. You can get with anyone. You can find a way, ladies and gentlemen and others. You can all get around it. Aquaballs, you're bloody late. We're just closing.
Yeah.
Bloody George.
It's last
what are you
call, man.
What'd you just wake
I
up,
think we're
mate?
past last call.
Past, yeah, but I'm going to go and get another drink still because I still got to cook some dinner for the elders.
Right.
So I need to be pretty fairly drunk to do that. Cooking's no fun if you're sober, is it? You know?
Well, especially if you're Julia Child.
Cooking sober, you're just going to end up with...
Bit for the risotto and a bit for me.
Oh, who's that? Keith Floyd.
Very terrible Julia Child impersonation.
That's the best dude that I can remember from maybe the 90s. Yeah, probably the 90s was an English TV cook called Keith Floyd. And he'd start his show talking about the meals that he was going to make, but he's constantly got a glass of red in his hand. And by the end of the episode, he's all like, it's one of the best cooking shows ever. But yeah, I think he's cancelled now or something.
Well, it's been over 20 years, so maybe.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back when he gets rid of the pancreatic cancer or whatever his alcohol's killed in his body.
Right.
All right, let's go before I keep talking this bloody nonsense that keeps falling out of my mouth.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks again for popping up.
Yeah.
It was awesome to have this conversation, and you will be getting links in the future as well. And let this be a lesson to people that get links to come up on this stream. Make sure you perform well, or you won't get invited back. Now bugger off and go to sleep or eat some food or do whatever that stuff ever it is. Mickham remembers Keith Floyd. He was great. Anyway, take care, everyone. Alyssa, thank you again. I many appreciates you hanging out. This is a great conversation. I probably might even watch it back and see what I said tomorrow. See if I don't remember any of it and stuff.
Can I get a new bucket of kudos for the road?
You can certainly. I'm going to send you 2 buckets of kudos in the post because your efforts were exemplary and you didn't have to do this, but you did. You sat up here, you endured my nonsense, and you endured my nonsense with aplomb. Don't forget the silent B at the end.
Right.
So yes, thank you very much. Again, kudos. Make a note in my notepad here. Send Alyssa double kudos. Oh, hang on. I misspelt kudos. I have to cross it out and rewrite it. Everyone else, I'll see yous when I'm looking at yous. Piss off
In the
and
face.
sweat probably. Bye now.